Howdy, everybody. It's Sunday night, so it's time for another episode of the Bullpen. Tonight we've got normal co-host Little Chad in Comics Division, and then
Hello.
special guest panelist
Hello.
Carrie Smith.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm doing awesome. Cassidy down.
Yep. You like that thumbnail?
I did.
I don't know that most people recognize him, but
I tell you who recognizes him is the Maha moms who were pissed when he was trying to knife RFK in the back during confirmation hearings. But I think that only leaves Murkowski and Collins for the impeachment group in the Senate.
Wasn't Cornyn in that group too?
Did Cornyn? Well, I'm already considering him dead man walking, but I don't think he actually voted for it.
Okay.
I think there were 7.
Yeah, the power of Trump is everybody keeps saying it's diluted, but all of the people that he's primarying are losing.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to be honest. It's a primary contest. I'm pretty sure Tuesday Massey loses by at least 5 points.
Really?
It's looking that way.
Yeah. The people who vote in primaries are the older voters, and Massey is down with them. That's the worst group he has, is the over 50s.
Yep. So that was the other person I was considering putting on the thumbnail for the same reason. But since we haven't had it happen yet, that'll probably be the thumbnail next week.
That's like Massey is like an internet third rail, though. Like you start explaining why Massey is actually bad for business as a, governing group.
Like if you want something to actually get done.
Exactly.
People get really. One of my friends in a group chat the other day was like, does Massey have a cult? Because if you criticize him, people get really angry, like emotionally angry, not just like disagreeing with you, but they get like emotional. And I was like, I don't think he's not like a cult leader. Like some of these people are micro cult leaders. He's not like that at all. But for some reason, a lot of his diehards act that way anyway. Even though he's not doing he's not like a Fuentes or something.
He really does stick to his principles, but his principles are no compromise at any point ever.
No. Let's disagree with that, because Mr. Principal seemed fine voting for government funding extensions and everything else, and you know this, Brahma, when it was Biden or anybody who wasn't named Trump. But then once Trump gets in there, he's like, principles, I can't support this bill. I can, my wife's been dead 3 weeks. I'm going to go with this girl to Africa on a safari. I'm sorry. It's skeevy.
Oh, now you did it.
I did it. I went. I'm sorry. Look.
Oh no!
Look, breaks out the claws. So he's got claws.
I am equal opportunity. When Pretty Pony Boy from Carolina did it, when his wife was no. Pretty Pony Boy, the one who had a pony brush.
Oh, I don't know.
Ran for president. I'm going to keep doing it. Was a vice president on the ticket. With John Kerry.
John Kerry. Yes, that guy was cheating on his wife with cancer, Elizabeth.
Yep.
I can't remember the dude's name.
What was his name?
Was a trial lawyer.
His wife's name was Elizabeth, and his name was what? He was a pretty boy.
You remember the wife's name?
Yeah, because Elizabeth had cancer and he was cheating on her. What a dog.
No, like this is how, because this is Kerry saying, my wife, who is completely checked out of politics, knows that one. Because it was such a creepy story. He brought her.
John Edwards.
I was waiting for
really?
John
Edwards.
John Edwards. So no, not the internet medium.
Yeah,
right.
The sci-fi medium.
But the who does cold readings. But Edwards did the same thing. His wife was long-term battling a disease, and he ended up banging staffers and doing all this other stuff. So when I felt really bad about it and said it was terrible for Pretty Boy Pony Boy to do it, it's just as bad for Massey to do it, and I'm sorry.
Oh God, yeah, I remember this dude. I mean,
he got caught in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
That's right.
Yeah, he got caught in the Beverly Hills Hotel, and he put her on the. I remember he put her on the payroll somehow. She was like a documentary filmmaker.
Well, this is why he set the precedent for why Trump should have never been charged. Well, for why Trump was not charged federally. Because remember when the Biden administration was looking into doing the charges against him for the payments
Payments made to Stormy Daniels.
To Stormy, they said we can't do federal charges because under the Edwards, he was found not guilty because they said he had a personal reason to have made these payments beyond just political, which was to save the embarrassment to his children
From his family.
Yeah, from his family. So therefore, because he had a scintilla of other reason to do it, he was acquitted. That was the ruling.
Which would apply the
Which
same
applies
way
to
to
Trump.
Trump, even though, I mean, I don't know that Trump has much shame when it comes to women and his family and stuff.
I don't think he does.
I have the most shame. I have the biggest shame on the planet.
Shame.
People have
I
told
wouldn't
me.
call it normal shame. It's just the best shame. I just
That's why I
ignore it.
redid the reflecting pool so my shame could be seen. It only reflects in flag blue. American flag blue is the only color to reflect my shame.
Did he really just go and paint the reflecting pool?
I thought he
Painted
No,
it
heard that.
American flag.
Okay.
blue. It,
Let me tell you, as someone who lives in the Northern Virginia area and goes to DC
it used
a
to
lot,
be black.
the reflecting pool was a shithole.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures, yes.
No, and they've repaired it dozens of times, escalating costs every single time.
Repaired it.
Carrie, it's leaking like 13 million gallons a year
Why?
prior to repairs because they have to keep it constantly filled, and there's cracks in it that they don't properly repair, and so they have to just constantly pump water into it. So what Trump did is he got pool people who weren't acting like to come in and say, can you fix it? And so they originally quoted 3, and then once they got to DC and had to deal with some stuff, it's escalated to 13. The Biden administration said it was going to take at least 300.
73 or something
No,
like that.
300, and wasn't going to still permanently fix the problems.
Dollars?
Yeah.
300 million. Yeah.
Wow.
Obama spent 37 million in like 2012 to fix it, and then the repairs all the repairs failed. It became a giant algae pond full of goose shit. It's been a terrible look for my entire adult life going to DC.
Wait.
And
What's the short version? So he's doing it for less money and he's getting it done? Okay.
yeah,
Doing
and
it
they're
for
mad
less
at
money.
him because he hired pool contractors. You know,
he's
people who are
smart.
good at that.
And they're mad at him because, yes, they are putting a coating that is blue at the bottom of it that is also a sealant, I think. But
Yeah,
you're
Like
not
in a
allowed
real-
to.
like in a swimming
You're not
pool.
allowed to
Yep.
change, any monument without all kinds of approval. So they're like, well, now he's changing it by making the bottom blue, and it's like,
Yeah.
Shut up.
Traditionally, it was like
my
a gunmetal
gosh.
gray finish
You know
on the
how
bottom.
people used to joke that he could cure cancer and they would gripe, and it's so
Yeah.
Right.
true. It doesn't matter what he does.
It's true.
And I think he's really he learned that a long time ago, and he just leans into it because
Yeah.
no
he
matter what he
also
does, they're
fixed
going to
the walkway outside of the Oval Office.
You know,
Put in brand new flooring to get rid of the old cracked, crappy walkway outside. He's actually using his money to spruce up our monuments.
The funny thing about it
not
is-
public
is-
money, his money.
Right. The thing that's funny is that people just zoom in on the whole thing with him painting it and not because they're disingenuous, right? It's like the whole thing with like, oh, look at Trump sleeping, all these things that they typically do because it's the shit that Biden was doing. But yeah, it's like they're trying to basically spin it that all he's doing is painting it, and that's it. Because
That he's not actually fixing it. He's just
Right.
painting it, and
Yeah.
they're not actually fixing anything. It's just
So-
a vanity project.
yeah, I mean that's the thing I find so funny about it is that it's like, well, just fucking tell the truth. Obviously you can't, but that's the thing right there. Just tell the truth, be honest. But no, they fucking lie.
And
Yeah,
it will
but-
actually be a reflecting pool now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you will see the monuments behind it reflected in the water
How cool.
because
I
it's
can't
clean
wait.
and got the
Well,
bottom
he
painted.
just painted it. That was
And
it.
to circle it back to Massey with Kerry's comment, the headline next week would be Trump cures cancer. It goes to Congress for funding to provide it to the American people, and Massey would vote against it.
They're going to come
My
out for
principles
you.
say that this is not something that government should do, so I won't vote for it. Mwah.
You're going to get the Massies. We got to come up with a name for the big Massey fans.
They're massholes.
The Massey
Massholes.
Lassies, the Massholes, the Massey Lassies, though, no, but they get, I'm just saying there's a certain type of Massey diehard that gets really emotional.
Yeah, the massholes.
Oh, that would be Toxic Man Flu.
Dead
Really?
Man, yes,
Love you,
absolutely.
Tox.
Oh no, tell him I said.
Dead Man for $5 says, I used to see Massey as a successor to Dr. No Ron Paul, but Ron Paul. Not, were you trying to say
Ron Paul, probably.
Dr. No, Ron Paul? Okay. But Ron Paul actually stuck to his principles no matter what.
Dr. No, that's a funny nickname for Ron Paul.
Because he said no a lot.
I think we'll do AOC.
You want to hear me say something smart for once? The bullpen is awesome.
That was very respectful of Carrie not to do a yeah while she was on.
Not to do the blonde, the brunette, or the redhead.
Or Bryce Dallas Howard. Best choice.
Yeah, but that's a real person.
Still best choice.
Sorry to be rude.
So, yeah.
I have to do one thing. Okay.
So Cassidy went down in flames. Came in third in the primary.
Now, who's Cassidy? Catch me up. I don't know.
Senator from Louisiana.
Okay, I didn't even know about this race. I wasn't watching.
He is one of them that voted to convict Trump from the Senate in the
Okay.
impeachment hearing. I think I've got a clip of John Kennedy talking about what happened on Tuesday night. And yeah, Kennedy has the best way of talking about anything. So let's bring that in real quick.
All right.
And Trump targeted him, Bill Cassidy?
He didn't he did this one
He's
like
being
Godfather
primaried
style.
as revenge
Yeah.
for voting to basically to convict Trump in the
It's so
impeachment.
funny. Of course, the CNN headline is like, Trump targets Cassidy, you know?
Oh, no.
We targeted a ton of the people in Indiana for not doing the redistricting, and they are losing they lost their primaries
I
left
think
and right.
the only one who won might have won by like 3 votes right now. They're going back to recount it.
Yep. I think the audio is here.
I don't have anything against the vice president. I served in the Senate.
Oh
with
no,
her.
this is the Kamala Harris. But
She's
we'll save that. Well, let's go ahead and play it. It's
a
funny.
woke-topus. She's pandering to the moon wing of her party. Nobody
Did he
has
say
ever
moon wing or
accused
moon
the
wang?
vice president of being a policy.
I'm pretty sure wing, but
Go back and back it up just slightly because his twang definitely makes it sound like Wang is on the table for
I
his
do love that she's a woke to puss.
That was pretty funny.
She's pandering to the moon wing of her party. Nobody
loon
has
wing,
ever
but-
accused the vice president of being a policy maven. Sometimes she acts like she has a billy goat brain and a mockingbird mouth, and that's a dangerous combination. My personal opinion is, for what it's worth, is that she's done. You know, she's a smoked turkey. She had her chance
turkey.
and had her shot. And
Fun
she
fact,
missed
that's
it.
how she got her
I
start
don't
in
think
politics.
she'll be the Democratic
was smoking
nominee.
things.
I would love for her to be the Democratic nominee.
Named Willie Brown.
And if it looks like she gets any momentum, I will happily contribute to her.
See, Carrie, she got her
campaign
start by
because
being
she
the
would be a
mistress of the
great
mayor of
leader.
San Francisco.
Yeah, I think
And there's
she's
the
a
dog
smoked
issue
turkey,
comics
frankly.
with being
I don't
inside.
think people.
It's fine.
I mean, the columnists at the Washington Post, for example, pay attention to what.
I mean,
she
they just
says,
heard the word Kamala,
but,
and that's
you know,
what they
those-
did.
those
You've trained them to
guys-
be racist. You're
Wait,
racist
might
dogs.
Are these the senator's dogs?
No, these are my dogs.
Oh, okay.
Somebody must have just shown up on the Ring camera, which means my wife probably ran to the store and back, and
I think
they
it'd be funnier if
they
were
heard
the
her
senator's
pull up.
Dogs. Just like,
Who let the dogs out?
No, I desperately need to get a door down here because it's open all the way up to the garage area.
this guy, every time I see clips of this guy, he cracks me up.
He's
I
the
just-
best.
The guys, people in Louisiana, you don't know how blessed you are to have such a funny. He's like, she's a smoked turkey. She got a billy goat brain.
The funny thing is,
It's accurate, though.
the funny thing is, if you look at the younger version of him, this is a little bit of an act and code switching because he didn't used to talk like this all the time. He's done it for years and years and years now. Now it's his personality. But way back when, he just sounded pretty normal, just a little bit Southern.
That's true. Mitch McConnell does it too, because when you look back at what he used to say when he was not dementia-addled and semi-senile, he could put together sentences. And they're both in the Senate voting for our legislation.
Yeah, but Kennedy's still sharp as a tack.
I know. I'm making a point that Mitch McConnell has no right,
and he hasn't frozen up like a broken robot multiple times.
Like they had to reboot his friggin' firmware 4 or 5 times to get him to be able to function.
Yep.
Luckily, luckily his software got upgraded by being a Chinese model about 20 years ago, so they have that tech support on call.
Well, let's get the right clip up, the one about Tuesday night. And it's got captioning so that we can understand what John's saying.
So what happened in Louisiana last night?
Well, Peter, here's the way I see it. Unless you're God's perfect idiot, the result was predictable. I mean, ground control to Major Tom. The polls have shown for well over a year that Senator Cassidy was in trouble.
Can you pause for a
second? Endorsement of Congress.
That was a nice little, not even an inside jab, but straight up jab, because Cassidy had been the one saying for months and weeks that he was actually leading and was going to not even need to do a runoff.
Right.
That things would, like, people would, like, once votes get counted, you'll see these polls are just misleading, where he comes in third. So
he didn't even make the runoff. The top two go to the runoff. So
in terms of who he was referring to when he said, unless you're God's perfect idiot, you knew what was going to happen, might be inferred to be a specific other senator from Louisiana.
Well, you don't have to shoot first.
Yeah. I don't like that they embedded music into this.
Woman Letlow was sort of the icing on the cake. Bill knew that, but he decided to run anyway. I respect that. I thank him for his service. He was very gracious in his concession speech. We now got a runoff between two fine people. For what it's worth, I don't plan to get involved. A wise man once said nothing. Why? Because he's a wise man. But I don't plan on weighing in. And, you know, if one of them starts talking about my mama, I might. But otherwise, I'm just going to.
He is basically like Senator else. Waterboy. Mama says.
Mama says.
He's
got so many of these Kennedyisms that he's got memorized, and we'll just throw them out there in any conversation.
Can you? There's a 100% chance there's a video of him saying you're as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Yeah,
that's a southern. I know that one.
Or
that one's at least a standard.
Or you got
up with crap.
You got as much chance as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
That's a regular one.
That's one of my favorites.
That's a real one.
And I'm sure he says "bless your heart" all the day, every day.
Oh yeah, he does.
I mean,
although
which
that's
by
usually
the way,
more of a female coded.
That is generally from a female, usually a waitress, and it means "fuck you."
Usually means you're fucking stupid, but not so much "fuck you."
Yeah, well,
it's you're stupid.
God's perfect idiot sounds like if Gary started a punk rock band.
Or Deadpool did.
Yeah. But yeah, so Bill Cassidy didn't just, he voted to impeach Trump in his trial in the second time post January 6th, along with 7 other senators, 7 senators total.
Good riddance.
Yeah, so
here's one. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and he was one of the major people, because he heads right now. He's the chairman of the Senate Health Human Services Committee, the Health Committee that oversees the HHS as a department. So they have, the way confirmations work is they go through the committee confirmation, and then if they get a vote, they go out of committee to the Senate for full confirmation. And Kennedy had been blocking a lot of the people who Kennedy wanted to bring in, who were considered more vaccine hesitant and more questioning of.
You mean Cassidy?
Cassidy, yeah, that Kennedy, because it's weird because there's Senator Kennedy that we just listened to plus Secretary Kennedy. Anyway, Cassidy was the one blocking a lot of those people at the committee level, and he was making them promise to do certain things and run things because they're also the oversight committee of jurisdiction, so he can continually try to make them come in for testifying and investigate them, etc. So he was a major block on a lot of the MAGA agenda because he's a known pharma quantity. He's a doctor by trade who is a pharma purchased through and through senator. And so that's where he was coming from on that stuff.
And part of the reason it's important is because it shows that people are actually having a long memory about some of these things. So senators, the reason the Senate isn't functioning right now, in my opinion, is they think they can wait out Trump's term because senators have 6 years. So there's quite a few of them that can basically just outlast Trump's 4 years because he can't run again. But if that threat is going to hang out there because MAGA is actually keeping their long memory and saying, nope, we're primarying you. It's coming the second you come up for a primary. We're getting rid of you. So maybe they'll actually start acting like Republicans or like doing something because the Senate has been useless so far in Trump's term. So, but it was nice to see Cassidy go down in flames. It was also hilarious seeing a whole bunch of stuff on Twitter about, a whole bunch of rhinos that were whining. This is the worst thing that could have possibly happened to, a sitting senator. I think it's the first time in 14 years a senator has been primaried successfully. So, good stuff.
It's about time, I guess.
Yep. Carrie, I know you wanted to talk a little bit of Spencer Pratt.
Well,
right?
I mean, I just see these days, like this Louisiana race, I didn't know anything about it. I just see what's in my algorithm. Everybody's gotten so, what's the word? It's so atomized. We're so individual in what we are looking at every day. But the Spencer Pratt stuff came across my feed, and he's running for mayor of LA. Mm-hmm. And I looked at the sports betting sites that you guys recommended, Kalshi and Polymarket, and he's coming in second. He gained, even in the polls, it's similar to the polls, he's coming in second. He gained 10, I think it was at 10% a couple months ago in March, and now he's at 20-something%. He's second place behind the current LA mayor,
Karen Bass.
Karen Basura, he calls her trash. Karen Trash.
Well, she is trash, let's be honest.
Yeah. But here's what's interesting. Have you guys seen any of his ads?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
They're fucking hilarious.
We played them last week.
Right?
And
Yeah.
we played the Democrat ad going after him from last week.
And last
where
week,
they basically just said all the great things about Spencer Pratt.
Stop making me want to vote for him more.
I
know,
Seen that. I gotta watch
You haven't seen that one? I'll
I'll
see if I can find it. I should.
I'll
It's
just
watch
still
your show from
downloaded.
last
And
week.
Carrie, last week I was totally shamed for apparently knowing Spencer Pratt's reality TV history.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so well,
You should be.
I never
You should
watched it,
absolutely.
but I think I met him once, and here's what's funny. He was always shooting at the same gun club I was at. The owners of the gun club were always they were friends with him and his wife. But I wasn't a fan of any reality TV. I never watched any of it. So I think I met him, but it wouldn't have made a very big impression anyway.
Right.
But I'm like, I think I shot with that guy once. Or maybe they just talked to him so much I feel like I did. Anyway.
If only it had been true crime, it would have had you.
It would have had me. Yeah, but when I first heard he was running, I was thinking, oh gosh, not another reality person.
Reality star villain.
Yeah, but then when I saw his ads, I started to get excited because I think, there's a lot of comparisons to Trump, and it makes sense why. I mean, they're both reality TV stars. They're both kind of out of left field. But also, he has some of the positives that Trump had, which is that the people who are getting behind him are very excited. There's an organic movement behind him. People are making their own ads, and they're viral. They're going viral, and they're exciting. And I think because he's kind of an out-of-the-box candidate, and he's not afraid of being different, and he's not in that woke orthodoxy, but he also has the entertainment savvy, and I think he's going to have a lot of people voting for him in secret like they did for Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that he has in common with Trump is he's not a Republican. He's
independent too.
He's
right?
an old school, classic liberal. And he's just pointing out common sense things that the progressive left has taken so far to the left that they don't recognize, what a actual classic liberal is anymore.
Yeah.
So you've got this ad. Did you see this one? So this is an ad actually not done by Spencer Pratt. This was done by the union specifically to attack him. And it should be listed as an in-kind campaign contribution if you haven't seen this one.
You talking about the one I'm
I've
sharing?
seen
Yes,
it.
the one you're sharing.
This is funny.
Yeah. This was
Wait,
hilarious.
which one? Not the Lego one.
This is the one where they were
Yeah.
trying to attack Spencer
Oh,
Pratt.
I haven't seen this. Let's
This is
watch
great.
So
it.
this is an
Spencer
attack ad
Pratt
against
is the
them.
last thing Los Angeles needs for mayor. Pratt opposes using taxpayer money to build brand new houses for our unhoused neighbors, saying
that's
it's
great.
time for the homeless to get help or get out.
Yeah.
Pratt thinks LA needs thousands more police officers rather than more social workers, and Republican Spencer Pratt thinks public employee unions should have less power, not more. LA is on the right track and needs to stay the course. Vote no on Republican Spencer Pratt.
Right track to derail.
So what that tells me is that the union bosses who are very political actually ordered this ad to be made, but there's someone in their department who makes ads who is like, LA's a shithole. I really do. I don't want to step in shit when I walk to work every day. How can I make this ad? Because my bosses told me I needed to make this ad, but not actually help Karen Bass.
Could have added, something like, he doesn't want to spend your tax dollars on teeth for meth addicts, But-
Oh, I've got something on that. Let me bring that one up.
Yeah, well,
'Cause-
let me do this one real quick too.
Okay, you do that, and I'll get the other one ready.
Because this one is, I think, what Carrie was talking about, and it's one of the better ads I've seen. Even Pratt's AI ads have been really great to begin with, but I'm going to full screen it because
It's
this
not one
one
where
is
he's using music, right?
well, it's
not
AI
copyright
music.
music.
It's-
Okay.
yeah. So
Because there's a few that aren't.
here we go.
Everything is awful. Everything is hell.
Is there supposed to be sound?
Part of the scene.
Is there not sound coming
Nope.
up? Are you
No.
still muted
No,
on the
I'm
live?
Still
muted.
have live
muted.
preview.
Yeah.
muted.
Aaron Bass is awful. And burning down our streets. Dirty needles, human waste. We just named two awful things. A stolen car, a burned down house. You know what's awful? Everything. Moms in shock, hit the locks. A camp of addicts down the block. Lots of tents, a very big mess. Awful scenes are not the best. Camps, traps, and crap. They're awful. Crack, smack, and shacks. They're awful. Slums, and scum, and bums. That's awful. Everything you see or smell or touch is awful.
Bass is awful.
The visual too, it's so perfect. Like the
Lego
fire
flames.
behind her with the super happy Lego minifigure.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Karen Bass is awful.
This is awful. Everything is hell when you're part of her scene. Everything is awful. And she's killing our dreams.
Throwing a solo into your ad.
Because
The keyboard solo.
Amaze, amaze, amaze.
amaze.
Hey, so tomorrow, Chris Gore just wrote me back. He wants to come. He's going to be on the program to talk because he's in LA.
Right.
And
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
to
he
talk
is.
About, he wants to talk about Pratt and how people are really there's a lot of excitement there for him. I really think he might have a chance.
No, I mean, he has a chance if they
He's
don't
got a
fucking
chance.
rig it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, just like with the governorship in California, how much are you going to be able to accomplish if you do get into office? And even if he wins, what is he going to be able to actually do? Because
Right.
nobody else is going to work with him.
Right.
You're still surrounded by Democrats. Not to be a downer, because, I mean, yeah, some of the stuff he's going to do, like he said, he's going to basically give a 3-week amnesty. And if you're still homeless and around, you're going to get kicked out.
Davina coming in hot with her comment. But to that same fact, you've heard Gavin Newsom right when the reporter asked him this week, two of the top, 3 contenders for the governor nomination are Republican, it's a distinct possibility you have an all Republican general election. How would that work basically for your legacy and things? And Newsom effectively said, we own all the administrative levers of power. So there, even if the governor is Republican, we will fuck them and they won't be able to do anything.
And they're also putting on the ballot an initiative to reverse the
it took
to reverse the top 2 being automatically
going. By the way, Indiana Republicans, get your fucking balls, because look at this. The Democrats are facing the possibility of one election, where they won't have both spots
after 15 years.
After 15
of
years
blocking out Republicans, they might have a Republican get through to the general. So they're going to change the rules back to the normal
to Republican Democratic prime. Not for this election.
God, that's funny.
No, they're. It's going to be for future ones.
We'll see. I think they'll reverse it right back to top 2 the second that they get this one done.
Yeah. So it's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, I pulled up Polymarket just to get back. Look at this is the Massey one. Do you see the flip? And this is hilarious. Like, so just on May 15th at 8 p.m. it was still Mass. So that was 2 days ago. It was Massey.
12-point lead.
And today it's now 58. No, it's now Ed at 60.
Almost an exact reversal.
Because what's happening is speculative money's out because it's 2 days away from the actual election, so they want to make the real money,
right?
So everybody's sold Massey, and it's not to mention. I think that I know they're trying to pretend like it was just him being smeared, but that story about him with the worker he got hired with the other congressional office that he was banging on the side. I think that is actually resonating in Kentucky more than they want to admit.
Probably.
Because
here's this is partially satirical. Credit to Assemblyman Lyle Culpepper from Twitter. I don't know if you guys have ever seen his Twitter feed, but so this is her actually saying this. And then he does a little skit with it.
How many people who are unhoused that you meet have no teeth at all? They don't have teeth. Why? Because meth rots your teeth. You can't succeed without teeth. So there needs to be comprehensive health care.
Look at hipster hobo standing behind her.
Pause it.
That's
that's the dude.
The
Okay,
sarcastic part. Yeah,
and
that's
our
funny.
hope with this dental
or the satire.
I was 100% believing that was a real member.
Oh,
of
you don't know
was
him?
everybody on his Twitter page because
so he does this all the time, Chad. He's a comedian and he inserts himself into newscasts like this.
Yep.
And he always wears a different color Palestinian scarf.
But his portion of this is hilarious too.
Initiative is that we get the unhoused people new teeth so that they can get jobs and then pay for their own crystal meth, as opposed to having it provided to them by the city, which is what we do now, quite generously. And we certainly don't want people to stop doing drugs on our account. The drug addicts of Los Angeles are what make this place such a special town. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend, heroin.
But yeah, that's where Karen Bass is going with this is, well, we've got to pay for health care for all the homeless so that they can get their teeth.
Okay, so I had a good friend of mine, reformed meth addict, and he lost all his teeth in a motorcycle accident, right? Because meth really does fuck your teeth up.
Roger,
so yeah,
the only thing as bad is Mountain Dew.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, he for years he did not have teeth, and he was very successful. And you know what? He made enough money to get dental implants. Wow.
Dental implants are not cheap.
No, they're
for
not
a full
cheap.
mouth replacement. You're looking at $50,000 to $60,000.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're doing an all-on-4.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that was the thing. It was like pretty funny. I remember when he was going through. He's like, I don't want to reward myself for bad behavior. It's like, dude, it's like you've major
Pick
restitution
yourself
to
up.
yourself,
You
man. I
overcame
mean,
your
Yeah.
demons.
you overcame it. It's like you are way better place now. It's like, get your damn teeth, dude. Just get your damn teeth.
Yeah,
No,
you
it
did.
wasn't Gary. It was not Gary. Sadly, my friend who went through this is no longer with us anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He sadly died of cancer at the age of like 35.
Wow.
Yeah.
After going through all of that and beating all of that.
Donnie had a hard life, and the dude was a convicted hacker, was lit on fire. Fortunately, no lasting scars. Was kidnapped. All this like really crazy shit, and it was like esophageal cancer that took the dude out.
Wow. You
Yeah.
should write a book about him. That guy's life is just
Yeah, he was an interesting dude, and R.I.P. man.
well. They want the taxpayer to pay for the teeth for meth addicts. This is her new idea, I guess, for being reelected. The thing about LA is that, yeah, we're talking about like Spencer Pratt has a shot maybe, which is exciting. I lived in LA for 15 years. People there are so deeply entrenched in the woke orthodoxy. It's like, it's like, their parents were woke and their parents were woke. It's been just
And it's a white straight
multi-generational.
man running against a
Yes.
black woman.
Yes. And they're
How
not,
dare you?
they're not ashamed of being openly racist and
The woke
sexist.
is strong with this one.
Yeah, they're not ashamed of that. What's her face? Chelsea Handler did a video saying, he's a straight white man, and like they're not even ashamed. Like racism and sexism are baked into their leftism, and it's been that way for generations.
Who's she talking about? Was she talking about Spencer Pratt or
She's
some
not
Pratt?
Spencer Pratt. She said
Yep.
straight white man.
Oh no, it's a straight white man. How horrible.
Yeah. So I just think it's, I don't know. It's kind of two things that are interesting to me. One, that she's still in first place is incredible to me. That she's even at 50-something% is incredible to me. When she's out there saying stuff like that, let's keep doing the same, and let's give more of our
Let's
tax
give
dollars
more money.
to homeless meth addicts, right? But then it's also incredible to me that that things are bad enough. Things have to get bad enough before people will leave that kind of fundamentalist religion, the woke
You
religion.
have to hit rock bottom.
And I think it's bad enough that you've got some people now, like there's a lot of people thinking that a lot of the moms are going to secretly vote for Spencer Pratt, like the yoga mom kind of. Somebody did an AI ad about it today, about how they're all secretly voting for him.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what a Rasmussen-style poll would look like right now, where you ask not who you're voting for, but who you think your neighbor is going to vote for.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you tend to
interesting.
get more honest polling out of that. Got a couple super chats to catch up on. Deadman for $4.99 again says, can you talk about the CIA whistleblower testimony that Fauci and CIA knew that COVID came from the lab leak? I didn't get to watch any of that testimony. I think it just confirmed exactly what we all said, and it's just another one of those conspiracy theory proven true.
Yeah, go figure.
There was never a chance it came from a wet market.
Okay, so I haven't seen this testimony, so I don't want to talk about it yet. But thank you I'm glad somebody asked that question because I've been meaning to watch the testimony. So I'm going to watch it this week. My husband was telling me about it. It's a shame that it's not bigger news, right? They wait years until we find this stuff out. They're like, oh.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Well, at this point, I mean, he's got a full pardon from Joe Biden preemptively, so nothing's going to happen either way. All right, we got to play.
Lil Chad always wants more, and so do I.
And then we've got Southern Belle coming in for $5. Did y'all hear the hour-by-hour response of Bass the day of the LA fires got out of control? I mean,
I thought she was in Africa when that happened.
Yeah, I
she
thought
was
she was
out
in
of the
Africa.
country.
Ghana.
Is this like maybe Belle was giving us the trick question, like, there wasn't one the day it went out of control because she wasn't there.
Because we were covering the fires pretty closely on Comics Channel at that point.
Yeah, we did.
We even had Latino Slant on there. So,
To the bonny lasses watching, we salute you.
there's that one. And then, of course, Darren comes in and gives 5 Brahmabull memberships. Thank you very much, Darren. And thank you for modding. We'll give you a quick video and then we'll get back to it.
I don't always watch YouTube for politics, But when I do, it is the Bullpen with Brahmabull and Lil Chad.
So thank you for those donations, everybody. Yeah, the Pratt thing, it'll be interesting. I mean, I think he's got a real shot because he's not really a Republican.
I think he has a real shot at making the general election.
Yeah.
I'm more like in Kerry's camp that I think once he gets to the general election, we're looking at probably like a 42, 43 cap at the amount he could pull in. Just
I've
because
seen a lot of funny posts though, Chad, about how LA doesn't believe in voter ID or election integrity. So maybe we could send a bunch of people there.
Right. I've seen a whole bunch of people saying,
Well,
I'm just going to fly in and,
so-
vote and then fly back home. Because
a perfect
it's not
example
like you
of
check
that
to see if I'm on the voter rolls or anything.
is that there's another state that actually is much better at it. It's New Hampshire. So New Hampshire, if you don't know a lot about northeastern political machines, New Hampshire near Massachusetts has a huge Democrat machine. When New Hampshire elections are close, New Hampshire has same-day voter registration, and you can just attest to your address. So buses will come in from Massachusetts. People, union guys usually, they will get off the buses, walk right over to the polling place, register with, as a voter, saying that they reside in New Hampshire, and go in and swing an election, and then leave and go right back to their buses and go home to Massachusetts.
Why doesn't New Hampshire do something about this?
Because New Hampshire doesn't want to do something about this because the Democrats control levers of
Northeast
government.
Is controlled by the blue.
Yeah. The best that New Hampshire can swing usually is a Republican governor if it's a Sununu. And maybe an occasional Kelly Ayotte squibs through and becomes a senator, for one election before they fix that mistake with buses the next one. So it's just like anything else. It's when they expect. It's like, and remember in 2016, the reason Trump was able to pull it out the way he did was they didn't expect him to actually overperform. So in 2020, they pulled out all their machine tools to break him, and they just did it way too obviously. And so by 2024, they were being watched too closely. So it's about an institutional, and so they just do that. And any state that has same day voter registration is designed to cheat.
Just
Same with any state that every single person gets a mail-in ballot.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Like Colorado.
Both things.
Yeah. The other thing New Hampshire does is they fucking run libertarians to tank Republic. That's their other way to do it. If they'll put a libertarian on the ballot, and when the libertarian is projected to pull enough votes, they won't engage in the next level shenanigans because they don't have to. Because libertarian candidates are all, in the end, tools to keep Republicans from winning. That's all the Libertarian Party exists to do. That's all they ever do. If they're either whack jobs of the highest order running for stuff in the Libertarian Party, or they're there as Democrat plants to siphon Republican votes. That's all they exist to do.
One of those whack jobs
used to stalk you.
I'm not talking about that. One of them just got arrested or something. What was
probably
his name?
for
Jeremy
pedophilia
Kaufman.
or child related charges. I
some
would
kind
guess
of weapons charges or resisting arrest or something. I saw it in the news.
I'm sure he'll go with a really strong sovereign citizen defense.
Jeremy Kaufman. Right. He was some kind of libertarian candidate there.
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah. I mean, that's all they really. The Libertarian Party is a blight on American politics. I'm done pretending otherwise because they used it in Virginia so many times when it was gonna. Virginia used to be a purple state, not a blue state, not solidly blue. It was purple, and it was solid red to red leaning purple kind of state. So what they would do to win the governor's race is they would constantly put out a libertarian who was funded vigorously by Democratic PACs that would siphon 3.5% which sounds like not much, but it's enough to drag the Republican down so the Democrat can get in with the plurality. And that's how Tim Kaine got to be governor, who is now senator. That's how Mark Warner gets to be governor. And they constantly, I saw this.
The amount that Ross Perot took.
I see this playbook every time, and it does not, and I'm done. I've reached the phase of my life where I'm done with it.
The last time there was the libertarian presidential candidate was like super woke, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was true.
Yeah, and it felt like, well, then what's the point of even running?
Well, that was the mistake, though. Usually they're stealth about it. They stick to like civil liberties arguments, Stuff Comics hears on his show a lot. And they try to like drape themselves in that kind of thing so that because to the average American, like the average normie American, that stuff is 100% things we believe in. Leave me alone. Let me run my life. And so you get a lot of low propensity voters.
Agree upon.
Yeah, so they get low propensity voters to be like, the whole system sucks. I'm just going to vote for this dude this time. And it's, instead of making a hard, like, we are in a binary system. There's only two parties that have chances of winning right now. That it is, you can be mad about it, or you can live with it and understand it. And
even the people who are in the system that are independents, like say Bernie, they caucus with one party or the other. There is no true independence.
Angus King and Bernie Sanders, they're socialists is what they are, and so they caucus with the Democratic Party because they're further left than what the Democrats normally would espouse, at least normally in the old days. Now they've gone off the deep end.
Now it's mainstream for them.
Yeah. So, but I don't want to go on a full rant, but it's just I'm tired. I want to hit this point and get people to understand. America is a two-party country. It has been since the beginning. There's only ever been two parties that have been successful nationwide, federally at a time. When a new party rises up, usually on the conservative side, the other one dies. When Republicans came up with Lincoln, the Whigs, they went away.
They did.
They dissolved and because the Republicans were the winning party and out of the two.
And I think we're about to see the dissolution of the Democrat Party over the next 10 years.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to reform into something else.
I think there'll be internal takeover. No, there's going to be the Republican, the Democratic Party, and to a certain extent the Republican Party are really dealing with having to come to terms with the shift of their voters. Like the Republican side has a problem with old school RINO establishment types, the Mitch McConnell wing, if you will, not realizing that for the last 15 plus years, maybe even a little longer than that, the Republican Party should have been realigning to the working average person party rather than business party. Like the Republican Party.
Because what's happening is they're basically a deer running at full speed that's been shot by a high-powered rifle, and it keeps running for another 30, 40 yards because it doesn't know it's already dead.
Yep.
They haven't adjusted to anything. They don't know that they're already gone. I mean, this is what Bill Cassidy is.
Yep. And that's why Trump was good, because Trump empowered the younger generation of conservative politician to be willing to be aggressive, to not take prisoners, to speak in a more, like J.D. Vance as an example, or some of these other younger ones who come up. So when the media tries to gotcha them, like they can say, frankly, Margaret, I don't care. Like what you're trying to ask me. The Democrats, on the other hand, are going to have to come to terms with the fact that their average voter base has shifted super woke socialist, and some of the go along to get along Democrats are going to get replaced. Like Schumer's going to get primary. If he doesn't actually stick to his retirement, the reason he was saying he's planning
because AOC
is going to be the new and we make fun of her, but she is the new
she's the face of the Democratic Party.
She's the new tip. She's the tip of the spear for their
but that's
politics.
Also where I think Spencer Pratt still has a bit of a chance, because what AOC is good at is social media. What Spencer Pratt is good at is marketing. As a reality TV guy, his marketing, his ads have been fantastic, and they're great on social media, and it's gonna do something with the youth. I have to believe that.
If you count on the youth vote, you lose. Don't ever do that. That's not who votes.
That's how Trump won this last election.
Trump didn't win because of the youth vote. He won because he still won on his normal stuff. And the block they're voting for is like 30, is under 40, right? That's considered the youth vote. What you got to do is anybody under 30, if you're counting, and this is where, who was it? Not Bert. Like going back to, was it 2004? Was it the guy who screamed?
Dean.
Dean was counting on, like, he was polling super high with like 22 to 24-year-olds.
Yeah, I was big into Dean.
Yeah, and all those, and guess what? They didn't show up in any of the primary states where it mattered. Like, guess where 22-year-olds don't swing elections? New Hampshire. They don't swing it in South Carolina. He ends up getting pushed out. In 2020, the reason Biden won wasn't because he excited the youth in the primaries. It's because Jim Clyburn and the guys who control voting through the AME Church Network. This is look into this thing, because they are the ones who staff most of the polling places in Georgia and South Carolina. And
Clyburn, who is the reason we had Kamala Harris.
Yep. So Clyburn, that's why, so Clyburn delivered South Carolina to Biden. It was the corrupt bargain of the 21st century.
He will appoint a black female as vice president. I will get you the nomination.
And he got Brown at the Supreme Court. It was his pick for her. He's the one who picked her for Supreme Court.
Yes, he did.
Is he going to have a seat?
No, they're gonna. They've got a way to redistrict him out, and allegedly, the governor's doing it. So
that is what I have been told.
He's the only Democrat out of South Carolina now. The reason
is this because of the SCOTUS decision?
Yes, because his seat was from the Voting Rights Act minority majority district.
Oh, this is great.
Yep.
So just like so Clyburn is going to be out in Carolina. I forget, in Tennessee, Cohen is out. This was, Carrie, you may have seen the clips where they were getting all mad in Tennessee for them redistricting that one Memphis district out of being a Democrat one. They're like, black voters are losing their voice. And they're like, Cohen is the whitest white congressman I've ever seen.
Right.
And plus,
like, you have the same voice as everybody else in the country.
You get to vote.
You get one vote.
You get one vote. That's the thing. That whole argument is so stupid.
It is.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says you get representatives who are the same race as you. That is so stupid. There's a certain percentage that are your race, and there's
only one race that gets that benefit.
Yeah.
Why isn't there an Asian district?
Right.
Chinatown, man.
There will be one, so there's enough Chinese nationals.
Right.
What they don't like what they don't want is the people, the Asian communities that fled and made the first wave of Asian resettlement within the United States in mass. Not talking like back in the late 1800s where the Chinese immigrants came in and built railroads. Yeah. I'm talking about like the 50s, 60s, post immigration reforms. Most of them were fleeing Chinese communist, Vietnamese communist, and Korean communists. You had the three parts of the Asian zone where communism took over strongly, where the American presence and GIs marrying local women was enough that you could have a large influx of those populations. So that's how you get like Hung Cao, who is the acting Secretary of the Navy, who's as hardcore Republican as they come because he fled. It's like Cubans.
Yeah, it's like the Cubans.
Yeah. But what they want now is to flood in, and through anchor babies and the rest is the Chinese communist people coming in. And that's how you get Eileen Gao over, doing Winter Olympics as a skier for China, even though she lived her entire life in the U.S.
Well, did you hear about that one mayor in California that got busted for being a Chinese spy?
Yeah, as a registered foreign agent of China.
Yeah.
running one of our cities.
Yep. I tend to agree with this. Is the reason why foreign-born nationals should not be allowed to run in our elections.
By the way, I also don't agree with I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't dig U.S. congressmen who are like reservists in the IDF. I feel like that's not
or have dual citizenship.
That's not cool. Like I'm not. I have no problem supporting Israel, but I don't like people who flaunt.
If you're going to have
their dual
office
loyalties
in the United States, you should have to renounce any other citizenship.
I agree.
Yes, that's true. I mean, there's
Ilhan
a reason.
Omar, still a citizen of Somalia, even
Yeah.
though she's a
Reason.
refugee from Somalia. She has dual citizenship in Somalia.
So does her brother.
Yeah.
You know, her husband.
And her dad, the warlord.
But there's a reason the Constitution, as laid out by the Founding Fathers, specifically, even though we were going to be a nation of immigrants, right, quote unquote, they put in one. There's only 2 requirements to be the United States president. You have to be 35 or older, and you have to be a natural-born citizen. You can't be naturalized, because they recognize the problem with dual loyalties. That's why the United States doesn't recognize dual citizenship. The United States considers you just a U.S. citizen. Other countries will offer you dual citizenship, but the United States doesn't recognize it officially. Which is why I don't like anybody functioning as a politician with dual loyalties to 2 different national teams. Like, who do you root for in the World Cup? Like, what's up with that?
Well, it's like that video we watched last week of all the Muslims saying, no, if we went to war with Iraq again, I'd be pulling for my Muslim brothers, not America.
Wow.
For any viewer who's wondering, I wasn't aware of this story. I just looked it up on NPR. Eileen Wang, former mayor of the city of Arcadia in California.
Yes.
I know where that's at. I taught SAT prep classes in Arcadia.
Yeah,
She has now
Chinese
pled
spy.
guilty. Chinese spy, felony charge, agreed to plead guilty to the felony charge, accusing her of promoting the interests of the People's Republic of China, and then abruptly resigned from her position on Monday. She faces a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Federal prosecutors, et cetera, et cetera. This is crazy.
Wonder how well.
Welcome to California.
She's got a really pretty dress on. Anyway, okay.
It's pretty funny. Like the pictures they've been showing of her is actually not her. They've been showing like this really attractive Chinese woman that's kind of older and it's not her.
Yeah, the one picture I saw was a very attractive Chinese woman. So.
Yeah, it's not her.
Okay.
Wow. Anyway, what a crazy story. Thanks for telling me about that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, and this is the problem. This is the problem with letting foreign agents into our country, not vetting these people. Like but vetting's racist. When you don't, you get shit like this going on. Great job, California.
Yep. So redistricting, we've been hitting on it, but yeah, I mean, right now we're looking at anywhere. I mean, I think we've already gotten at least 3 seats. Between California and Utah, I think the Democrats are at 6 seats. Does that sound right, Chad? 5 in California, 1 in Utah.
That
Republicans
was the
are looking at up to 14 to 17 seats. It sounds like.
It depends on how big they go, because Louisiana went with only the 1. So Louisiana decided I think because they didn't have the modeling done yet, they compacted New Orleans into 1 district so that it wouldn't taint the rest. So it's going to be a net gain.
Right, because you don't want to
seat.
weaken what is a strong Republican seat now as well, and make that possibly a competitive seat.
Well, the term for that is a dummy mander, where you think you're rigging it, but you make it competitive and end up losing the seat.
Right. So it's a little bit of a balancing act of, yes, we could completely redistrict, but how does that weaken us in the next cycles in the new districts that we created that were strong red?
Yeah, so the reason the Democrats are in trouble right now, and that they're going so balls to the wall all in for 2026, is because by 2028 they're going to be able to pull, the Republicans will be able to pull some additional redistricting with newer model data to really draw the maps, and get rid of another probably 4 or 5 seats that are, Democrat held right now. Indiana will be back in play because Indiana, all the
no's
RINOs got
primaried in the Senate.
Yeah, and then the big looming crisis is the 2030 census, because we know they cost 12 seats to red states because of the census being done wrong, and we've just lived with that 12 seat fuck up for since 2020. And by 2030 they're going to have that correction. It's projected there's going to be about a minimum 16 seat swing from blue states to red states, where they're going to have,
especially with the illegals out of the census count.
So that's why it's minimum 16.
Right.
If you even
at a 40-50 seat majority.
Yeah. But
post 2030.
Well, but even with the 16, if you're only getting the 16, you would look at, with redistricting done aggressively, a 230 seat floor for Republicans, meaning safe seats, like where you don't even have to campaign, because you're talking R plus 20 districts.
Yep.
And so you're guaranteed not just the House, but the majority plus a dozen. And then you'd have competitive seats on top of that, where, give or take the environment, you're usually not losing all of them. You might even split them. You could be looking at a realistic floor of a 240 seat majority, like 240 seats in the House, when 218 is the majority.
Starting point.
Yeah. So and at that point, with that kind of control over the House built in institutionally, the Democrats would be in trouble, because the House has the power of the purse, and with that many new type Republicans, to use a Gundam quote, you would have guys who weren't just like wusses about using the power of the purse to keep things in check. When Doge cuts are being presented, they're not going to be losing their shit weak in the knees, and they're not going to have the masses going, well, principles. They're going to actually vote for those things. And
if they don't, we've got a safe enough majority that you can just primary them out.
Correct.
They'll either have to work for the people doing what they said they were going to do, or they won't have jobs. Because if it's not just trying to get the barest majority, then you've got plenty of wiggle room to get rid of the chaff. So 2030 will be the absolute nuke towards the Democrats. I mean, the Republicans still actually have to deliver at some point, which I would love if they would get going on that and actually do something during Trump's term. But all of this stuff that is going on right now is setting up the Republicans for the future to basically never have a situation where they're completely out of power again until they do something completely stupid or change their positions.
Give it time.
Yeah. But it could be the next 50 years. This could be generational. The biggest change is going to be not having illegals counted.
Yeah,
there are far more than anybody thinks that there are here.
Right.
Well, far more than anybody that actually goes on TV and says a number thinks that there are. Because it's no 10 to 13 million. That's what came in the last 4 years. Add to that the 20 million that they had been claiming for the last 50 years. And that number just never changed.
I mean,
for 50 years, it was always the same amount are in here.
Carrie has experience from California. I know, because you could see the tipping point for California started in the early 90s.
Probably.
Where the numbers, and that's when Pete Wilson as governor tried to pass the state constitutional amendment to ban.
Be right back, Chad.
No problem. Yeah, to ban illegal immigrants from getting state services and state money. And that's when they went to court to fight that, and they were in the process of fighting it when Gray Davis got elected, and he promptly dropped all legal fights to keep that proposition passed like 80-20. when it was brought up to California voters, and then the Supreme Court of California ruled that it was unconstitutional, even though it was a constitutional amendment.
What?
To the state constitution.
Wow.
And so they were Pete Wilson was trying to go to federal court on the grounds that from a due process standpoint, and it wasn't a violation, because they tried to say it violated the equal protection. Anyway, so it was an ongoing legal battle, and it just got dropped because the Democrats won the governorship, and so they got to stop fighting it. And then the floodgates opened with Pete Wilson gone, who had been trying to find it. That would have been the later 90s, and maybe Carrie can speak to her experience where there was a rapid uptick in people coming in starting in the 2000s that really exploded around Obama.
Well,
era.
I wouldn't know because that's when I got there, so I don't know what it was like in the 90s. I mean, I got there after I got there in the year 2000. And
in the year 2525.
do you guys remember the Conan O'Brien in the year
Yes.
2000?
What I love most about it is he kept doing it for the 20 years after
He did?
2000. Yeah, he kept using it as a bit.
Well, anyway, when I mean, there were definitely a lot of illegals, but I don't know what it was like in the 90s, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. And I was also a dyed-in-the-wool wokey by then after 4 years of college, so the whole way I thought about things was different completely. So I would have been one of these people going along with everything right now. Unhoused. I was one of those people who, instead of calling them illegals, called them undocumented Americans.
Undocumented Americans.
No. Yeah, because they try to think about what you're doing with that phrase. You're doing what Orwell talked about. You're changing the way people think
absolutely
by changing the words they're allowed to use, and slowly over time they start to think of them as Americans. But they're already Americans. They're just undocumented.
They're just undocumented. They're here. They're allowed to be here. They're Americans. They just don't have any IDs. It's fine.
Yeah, can I tell you guys just a little anecdote about immigration that's kind of interesting?
Sure.
My husband was talking to a friend. We have many friends in Europe because he usually tours there once a year and has known people there for decades. And one of them was sort of talking with him about politics and about all the stuff they're hearing in Europe is, of course, the mainstream media stuff. And they're just like, oh, the immigration and Trump and ICE and, oh, it's just awful. And, why is he's so against immigrants? And my husband said something about, but that Obama deported more people than Trump did, right? Like a lot more.
They don't know that. No,
and this European was like, what? No. And he said, yeah, look up the numbers. And so the friend looked up the numbers and then said, but why then? Why is everyone talking about Trump's? And it's like, yeah, exactly. Why are you? Why are you? Because everybody is, because it's an op, because this is the way it goes.
Have you heard about what's happening with Germany?
Not to fact check Carrie real time, but Obama fudged the numbers.
Oh, he did.
What they did is they started counting turnaways at the border as deportations.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
But it was still the stance of the Democrat Party at that point.
Yeah, it was
to not have an invasion.
But if realistically, if you listen to Homan and some other people who talk about it, Obama was basically
wink, wink, nod,
way
nod.
below average of even the presidents right before him on deportations.
Well, either way, according to their official record, whether it was wrong or not, she didn't even know what the official record is because why would you? Because you hear this big, hullabaloo about Trump, but you heard nothing about Obama. Why not? Because the media is not going to, it's just that double standard. It's not even a double standard. It's that there is, a flashing red light emergency for everything Trump does. Like even at the beginning of the stream, we talked about He's painting the reflecting pools blue and making them look nice. I guarantee you our friends in Europe have heard about it, and they've heard about it from a negative perspective, but they never heard anything negative about Obama. And what's so funny is to hear them say something like, well, why didn't I hear anything about it? Yeah, exactly. Why didn't you? Like, that's a great question. Stay there with that question for a while and figure that out. Why didn't you hear anything about Obama that was negative? It just makes me a little angry. That's all. What were you going to say about Germany comics?
Germany is like massively fucked. Like,
that's where this friend is, by the way.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There was a German YouTuber I was watching like a couple weeks ago. He's talking about why he's leaving Germany, and it's like their birth rates have crashed. The welfare state is kind of like off the rails. There's not enough money that's going into it to be able to prop it up. They've let all these people from Muslim countries come in and kind of ruin things. And yeah, it is a fucking disaster. And this is like he's like a pretty prominent YouTuber talking about Germany, how great it is. Now he's like, nope, I'm fucking done. I'm out of here. And he at that point already left. I think he was not in Crete. I think he was in Greece or something like that. But he's actually heading to Japan. And a lot of it is that they've become very much an anti-natal society. It's insane. I mean, they are like legitimately fucked as a country.
Is it this guy, Radical Living or something? I'm leaving Germany.
Yes, I think that's it.
Okay. I got to send this to my husband.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It's interesting. I mean, the funny thing is he basically says the whole thing about the immigrants without spelling it out because, probably doesn't want to be called racist or something. But yeah.
Or get arrested.
Well, no, he's already out. So he
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's fine at this point. But yeah, a lot of
it's still deeply ingrained in him to not call out immigrants.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it is so.
I can see what the problem is, but I'm not going to name it.
They are woke on steroids there because of their more recent history. They will always be expected to whip them, self-flagellate about their country's recent history. We're expected to do it for our country's history, which was, further in the past, but theirs is more fresh. And so it's like, I think the like you said, even if
patriotism has been bred out of them.
Yes, it's been bred out of them, and they're all just in this constant like, I must, bow down because of the sins of my forefathers, and I must be abused and do whatever you want, and just totally give up our country.
Break out the cat of nine tails and whip your back. I'm a racist. I'm white. I have no control over this. It's fucking stupid. But yeah, Germany did some bad things. Every country has done bad things. Yeah. You make amends. You do the right thing going forward. Yes. And I mean, why should I feel bad for the sins of my country when I had nothing to fucking do with it?
Exactly.
It's stupid.
It doesn't make any sense.
4 generations removed from it.
Yeah. It's like I have had nothing to do with slavery. I'm not going to feel bad that it happened.
Also,
I mean, it's something that you learn from, right? It's like that's the point of history. You learn from the mistakes of the past. You do better.
And we did
Western
learn from
civilization is the ones that ended it.
Exactly. Our country's the country that ended
our countries.
They don't want you to talk about that, though. That's not the story. The story is not that we ended slavery.
It's still actively happening in half the countries in the world. But no, the problem is we had it years and years and years ago, and we fought a war and ended it. Same with Britain.
Yep.
But yeah, it's the original sin.
Man, that's so sad. Like the speaking of Germany, just I don't know what's going to happen to Europe. They don't have the same. They're cooked. They don't have the same spirit of okay. So we're kind of in trouble here too. But at least we have baked into our country's DNA to some extent is this independence. This kind of
don't trust the government.
Don't trust the government. Do it your way. Don't tread on me. Kind of.
Well, they're trying to beat that out of us.
West, and they are trying to beat that out of us.
There is one thing that is keeping it at bay. It's a Second Amendment that was written into the Constitution. There are 500 million guns spread throughout the country. Freedom guarantors that help make any autocratic government question whether they can do it. Like the European tradition going back to the feudal era, and this is again, people need to understand the historical context of why the founding fathers were so hyped about the Second Amendment. The feudal tradition, the reason there was a term for man-at-arms and there was an armory was because the average citizen was not allowed to even own a longsword.
Disarm the peasants.
The peasants were
They're fighting with pitchforks while everybody else is fighting with longswords and armor.
They would have armor, longswords, pikes, and any weapons were not allowed to be possessed by the citizenry. When citizens were called up and conscripted at that point, the man-at-arms would distribute from the armory the weapons that they would be fighting with, and then they would recollect them.
Spear.
And they were probably crap.
Yeah, when they were.
No,
done.
I mean the most easiest weapon to use is a spear. That's why a lot of conscripts were spearmen.
Put the pointy end here.
Yeah,
correct. Or in the context of Henry V, longbowmen, who fucked the shit up out of the French over at Agincourt. But anyway,
well, being a longbowman actually takes training, or like learning to use a spear. You can do it with very, very little training.
All right. But so that's why the founders were very hyped about the Second Amendment, because they knew the average citizen being able to own weapons of war, not by the way, like literally the things the military were using. Like there's a lot of context in Virginia as a colony. They used to require the citizens to have a musket because it was the standard infantry weapon of the era. And the citizens needed to have the standard infantry weapon of the era on hand. So in that context, we would all have fully select fire capable AR-15s.
Which is why the argument that about the military, they never foresaw the peasant or the people actually having the same guns as the military.
That's bullshit.
They actually did. They were the same guns back then.
The muskets of the time were the AR-15.
So fun story. George Washington had to go to private citizens to get cannons several times because he didn't own enough and didn't have enough with the Continental Army, and private citizens could own cannons and did as defenses for ships if they were in merchant services, or if they had very large estates, they would have cannons, to help protect their territory. So he would ask, and patriotic landowner populations would give him cannons to use in the combat. Point being, so that's all in the long save. That's one of the main reasons the United States has not been taken over to the extent, because even very blue states, even the bluest states, 98% of the territory is red. Deep red usually, and also gun owning deep red. Whereas, and by the way, this deep red gun owning territory disproportionately provides your membership in an all volunteer military. Like, we're talking the percentage of military servicemen that are coming from red territory is probably at least 80%. For your volunteer
and
service.
We are saying you can legally own cannons. I believe that was actually affirmed by some of the founding fathers. Was it the Federalist Papers?
Yeah, the cannons are. I think you can still have a cannon today because it's not.
It was specifically discussed.
I mean,
one of my friends in South Carolina has a cannon.
Yep,
nice.
And by the way, nice cannons. Your what was the quote? Your fish head wife doesn't have these cannons.
Well, the funny thing is that so Gibby Haynes, the lead singer of the Butthole Surfers, actually went to Trinity, which is the University of San Antonio. And the legend is that he had a small cannon, and each morning he would get up and fire it.
Nice.
He is a weird dude.
All right, well,
he is a weird dude.
I did want to. I know me and Brahma both had seen the same interview. It looks like
I've got a different clip from it than you do. I think
I've got
James Tellerico.
Yep.
Yes, it's Tellerico.
We've got our Texas. We've got our Texas crew in here. So this one, by the way, is what I call the George Glass clip. I've got a boyfriend named George.
Right.
George Glass. And I want Carrie's opinion on if she actually believes this answer.
The biggest question, not even close, the most popular question that we got asked is, are you single? Are you single? So you have a girlfriend.
I do.
Of many years.
I do.
My girlfriend has a penis.
And she is my rock. She is my best friend. I don't know if I could have gotten through the last.
Real quick. We really need to splice in the I have
He's
relationships
gay.
with women and
Yeah.
sex with
Sex
men.
with men.
All right, Carrie.
Wait. You gotta keep playing it. I gotta watch a few more minutes of it.
All right, 'cause-
Or
Yeah.
another. Let him finish.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna let you, but because
he's gonna finish.
as a straight man, my straight man gaydar has been going off like
Since he came on the
100%.
scene.
You know what? We need. Where's our boy? Well,
6 months of this crazy
Pause
race. If
So, I mean, he says he has a girlfriend. I mean, whether that girlfriend is cis or not is another story.
here's a one for Brahma. If he's not gay, he goes into bathrooms with a wide stance.
Problem.
100%.
Taps his foot under.
Taps his foot. Which senator or congressman was that? That was Colorado, right?
No, I don't think it was Colorado. Well,
Well, it was
actually,
in-
it may have been at DIA.
Wasn't it at
but I
Denver?
don't think it was
Yeah.
our congressman.
Larry Craig.
if she hadn't been by my side.
Yeah,
so
there we go.
Yeah, thanks for asking about her as well.
Do you want kids one day? What can you share with us about that?
Well, now you sound like my mom asking when I'm going to give her.
His mom is like, "Are you gay? When are you gonna? If even gay men can have children now, James."
James, are you gay? It's okay. It's not a big deal.
All right, let's.
Another grandbaby. I definitely do. I definitely do want to have kids one day. It's kind of hard in the middle of this campaign to think, the next week ahead. Certainly hard to think that far in advance, but it's definitely something that I want to do one day.
It's just very
Okay.
difficult for me to look at an unclothed
Okay.
woman.
All right,
I don't
verdict.
think,
Kids are
okay,
going
I
to
don't
take
think
a
he's
while.
gay, but I also don't think he is straight. I think he is one of these like asexual sociopaths. Like he might be like a Norman Bates kind of like mother in the shower kind of.
Right.
So
I don't know,
Carrie's
like-
Sure,
verdict
maybe.
is he definitely is seen a flute and played it, but it's because he's a psychotic. All right.
His eyes, everything about his eyes and stuff just I mean, maybe I'm reading into it. I'm too biased, but did you see that picture of him smiling in a weird way behind Obama? And and his eyes and his mouth didn't match.
Don't
and his
match.
eyes. Yeah. And if it was one of those things where, if you covered up the mouth and you just saw his eyes, you'd be like, this guy's trying to eat me. like
So,
a lion.
The
a
non-official, non-medical diagnosis is that he has borderline personality disorder,
Yeah.
ready to murder you in your sleep if you
Yes.
cross him.
predator. Yes.
He's Jodi Arias running for Senate.
He's Jody, but like the male version, he's like the guy that made lampshades out of people. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the
Buffalo
Ed
Bill.
Gein.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Shit. I forget the guy's name.
Ed Gein.
Yeah,
Ed Gein, yes, Ed Gein.
He's the one Texas Chainsaw Massacre was
It's
based,
based off of, yeah.
on. Yep. So Brahma must have one of the other fun clips.
I do have another clip of him, so let's spotlight that one. And
First off,
Yeah.
what's up with this lady's face?
Also, yes, her face. Thank you, comics. I was gonna say. Also,
It was
she
bugging
is-
me since she went on screen.
She is just as creepy as him. She's so plastic. And who is she? Who is she?
Jamie
Jamie
Kern
Lima? Yeah.
is the name of the show.
I've never seen this before, but she just seems so fake.
Yeah.
Again, I think we have to have a real conversation within the church, within Christian communities, about what is our relationship with power. Because in my mind, as a Christian, power that is not shared is also domination. And in a democracy, it's all about sharing power. We acknowledge that power is real and that it has consequences, and we commit to sharing that together as a nation, as communities. And I think that's where we have to strive. Theocracy, in my mind, is the most dangerous form of government, because the only thing worse than a tyrant is a tyrant who thinks they're on a mission from God. And that's why our faith in Jesus should lead us away from theocracy, away
Would
from
you
tyranny,
like to
away from
comment
Christian
on
nationalism,
Islam,
and
sir?
toward a multiracial, multicultural democracy where we can all freely love God and fully love our neighbors.
So I have a problem with that take because basically his side is being tyrannical,
Yes.
using religion
Yes.
about the non-binaries, the LGBTQ, the trans movement, all of it. And he specifically has been so non-biblical on every one of those things, which is the other reason why I think he's actually gay. Because no straight man is that happy about, just ecstatic about, well, we've got to get all the non-binaries, all these rights and, the trannies. Straight
Okay,
guys,
what rights do they not have, first off?
Right.
the right to exist, comics.
The right
Sure
to
they do.
deprive you of rights. That's what they want. The
Okay.
right,
Right
to
to groom
deprive
your
you
children.
of rights.
That's not a right. That's a bullet to the head.
Exactly. That's not, they want the right to, compete in women's sports when they're men, or, well, then just get rid of all women's sports. If there's not going to be, what's the point in having segregated sports if it doesn't matter and you're going to put men in women's
Well,
sports?
I mean,
what's funny
I saw
about
what
that?
happened in the UK with it wasn't the BAFTAs. It was like the music equivalent of the BAFTAs where they got rid of gendered, like best male singer, best female singer. You know who won? All the dudes.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
And
happened.
What's funny about that is I believe it was Katie Porter and one other person had done some interviews, and part of the interview was about women in sport, or men in women's sports. And they full on believed that women would be able to beat men in quite a few sports.
Yeah, sure.
They specifically were talking about track and field events because they were talking about the Olympics is going to be in, California, the Summer Olympics. And they were like, oh yeah, women beat men all the time in track and field. It's like, no, they don't.
But this
It's
is
not
how
even
bad,
close.
It's like the education, a lot of our problems go back to because the woke has seeped into education, and I'm not just talking about colleges, I'm talking about K through 12. Like these kids, they don't even know, like they're being taught all this crazy religious stuff. This guy says he's against theocracy. No, he's not. Not if it's a woke theocracy, because that's in our schools, our public schools. They're teaching that men can become women. They don't even know what women are. They don't know. They can't name any. Did you see that thing in Matt Walsh's new history series where he was talking about stats of like they can't name any figures that were central to the foundation of America? Like some quiz, if you say, okay, excluding presidents, name some famous figures in America's history. Just in the 90s,
Nicki Minaj.
Exactly. They name Oprah. We would name Betsy Ross, Paul Revere. They don't name any of these people. They don't even make the top 10. They name
Franklin,
MLK,
who was
MLK,
never a president, but is
Obama.
on our money.
They don't
He
name
was
it-
he's a very influential man whore.
But they
Yes,
don't know anything. So much less do they not know that women can't beat men. On average, you're never going to get like the most elite. They don't know. They don't even know what a bell curve is. They don't know what an outlier means. Like I saw this TikTok I showed a couple TikToks on my show of this high schooler who actually is facing repercussions now at school from the administration because he was going around with a camera and just interviewing his fellow classmates and giving them a
They
note
can't
card
read.
with a sentence, and they couldn't read it. And these are seniors.
Wow, that's
And
bad.
it was so terrible. And I felt
Well-
so bad for these kids, but like they don't know anything.
And you just had, I believe it was testimony from a high schooler in Texas. The school is handing out Qurans, but you're not
Wait,
allowed to even
what?
have a Bible.
See? Like what
You
world is this?
prayer mats and Qurans, perfectly okay in every middle school and high
This is
school.
Colorado, not Colorado, Dallas.
Probably Austin or Dallas, yeah. But yeah, I saw clips of that. I did not keep them bookmarked, but we did mention something about gay men can now have babies too. So this wasn't one of the main clips I had for this week. It was a side thing in case we needed a little bit extra buffering.
Before you pull that clip up, can you put up my Talarico thing?
Sure.
The last thing on Talarico is this picture. Greg Abbott's Facebook, the governor of Texas, his Facebook's somebody's doing memes and stuff on his Facebook.
Yeah,
It's pretty
he
funny.
looks like Chucky.
Yeah, and so this picture, Greg Abbott put this up, and it's Obama saying, "He's behind me, isn't he?" And then it's Tellerico. I hope my smile looks normal and very senatorial. So creepy. Anyway.
Yeah,
Just a little funny.
he's freaky. So I haven't watched all of this. I've just got the basics on this. This is from Matt Van Swole's Twitter account. But so this has been over a year-long investigation, and we are just now getting some actions taken.
His spouse are facing some serious charges tonight. Both are accused of sex crimes against children in Harnett County. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office says it received cyber tips flagging 39-year-old Joshua Gilliam Lynch and his spouse Ronald Lynch for allegedly possessing child sexual abuse material. Investigators executed a search warrant at the couple's home in Irwin and seized multiple electronic devices. The couple has been arrested and face several charges.
Wow.
They were allowed to have 5 kids. That investigation took over a year while the kids were left with them in their custody while they were investigated.
That's massively fucked up.
Sexually assaulting children and possessing child pornography and creating child porn.
And you know the sad thing is when you started playing this, I was like, wait, which one is this? Because
Right.
there's so many cases
Because
like
it's
this.
happening too often to the point that it's like, no, I don't care if there are some okay situations, like probably Dave Rubin. I don't think 2 gay men should be allowed to adopt children.
No.
Well, I remember this one thing.
I definitely don't agree with the IVF.
This happened back in the 90s where 2 gay men basically raped a young boy to death. Not young boy, but I want to say maybe he was older. But yeah, I mean, and the mainstream media refused to fucking cover it.
Yeah.
They won't because it goes against it would be heretical to share it because they want to pretend like it doesn't, it goes against their religion to even talk about it.
And this was the 90s. That's the thing that's so fucked up.
That would have hurt their battle for acceptance, which turned into battle for supremacy, and you will allow us to do whatever we say.
You will suck the penis, bigot.
Pretty much.
I'm so sick of these stories, and I'm just there's always a new one, and the leftists never. And you know what happens is I will every once in a while share one on my Facebook. That's where the leftists are, that I interact with anyway. None of them are on X. And what happens usually is, first of all, I don't like sharing these stories because they're so dark. But when I do, I will always get the leftists in the comments saying, "Oh, you're cherry picking stories, are you, to make gay people look bad?" And it's like, dude.
No, if we showed every single story that we could pull
Yeah,
up,
don't even show all of them.
It's just as bad as the female teachers doing stuff to kids in school.
Yeah. I'm so tired of this.
Well, we
This
do have
part
some.
of the brave new world.
We do have some good things we can show too. They're fairly longer clips.
Well,
3 minutes.
I was going to say, I mean, I think I've talked about it before, but the canonization of homosexual life choices goes back to the 90s. Specifically, I would say the original sin of this one is Matthew Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah.
Where anybody
Total
where it's a complete lie, and he was not unknown to the people who killed him. It wasn't even a hate crime. It was a drug related deal gone wrong. Because one of the 2 guys who was responsible for his murder was his drug dealer, and and they built up this giant mythos around that to be able to do the entire new wave of hate crime legislation, which effectively is thought crime legislation. Because the interesting thing about a hate crime is that for it to exist, you have to have committed another crime. What a hate crime does is adds additional penalties for your thoughts.
And it also allows you to be charged federally on top of state and local.
Yeah. So that was one of the idea of the hate crime and then choosing to pass it was one of the first great woke victories in changing like the institutional protections for the individual in the United States.
Mm-hmm. It was an Orwellian kind
Yeah,
of.
I remember having discussions with this with people, and I was like, it's like murder is already a hate crime. Why the fuck do you need to add this on top of it?
Specifically, there's categories of murder. There's manslaughter categories. There's murder categories. And one of the categories where you get escalations for murder 1 versus murder 2, was it a crime of passion? Was it premeditated? Like, the thought process that led to the murder was already factored into criminal law by giving you murder 3rd degree, 2nd degree, or 1st degree.
Yes.
And
first
then
degree being the one that you could
first
actually
degree,
get the death penalty.
And 1st degree being premeditated, thought out, planned murder versus crime of passion, etc. And then we also had manslaughter to reckon with the fact that when people did something and someone died as a result of gross negligence, or all these
Or
other
just
factors,
pure accident.
So one of the greatest, again, getting to a theocratic reference, a theology reference, the devil loves to create tricks by removing history from people's minds. The devil wants to, and the evil powers of the universe want to make it so you have no awareness of what is rationally truly already done and been there, right? So they convince people that the criminal law had no ability to punish people for how they murdered someone and why they murdered someone, when that was always part of it. So they convince the average normal person who's not really paying attention, oh, of course hate crimes. Well, that's if you're doing something because you hate them for being black, that should be an extra thing. No, we shouldn't. We should be rationally enforcing the laws on hate.
Every life should have the same value.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the thing, is you can do something so evil and wicked and egregious, like the guy, one that's in the news right now, the guy that brutally murdered Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
When that guy, is that a hate crime? Does it get extra? Is it extra? Or
Sure,
is it
let's make it a hate crime.
Is we are going to be using the hate crime laws in reverse against him, I believe.
I think
we are now reversing it on them, and it's not just. I mean, right now the Trump DOJ will charge a hate crime just to get it into the jurisdiction of the DOJ and the feds.
Are they doing that? I didn't know that.
On certain things.
Okay.
They have done it a few times already. So they're kind of using the Uno reverse cards on them and saying, you've used them against, white people specifically for a long time, and often against conservatives. And now, shoes on the other foot.
There should be no such thing as protected groups. Every American should be protected. There's no protected groups get extra value.
Here's the thing I'm going to say. If you are a protected group, you deserve less rights because you're protected. Seriously. I mean, it's like the whole thing is like you cannot be simultaneously oppressed and be empowered at the same time.
Help, I'm being repressed.
Yeah. This is the problem with the whole feminist thing. It's like, technically, men are not the majority. Women are. Mm-hmm. Like, legitimately, there are more women than men. Men are technically the minority.
And technically, women have one more right than men do.
Yes, they do.
We're not
They
drafted.
don't have to be drafted.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the other thing with why the next nefarious step with hate crimes is you normalize the idea that hate crimes for physical crimes is appropriate, and you wait about 5 years, and then you say, everybody was good with hate crimes being a thing we should punish. That pesky First Amendment shouldn't apply to hate crimes when it comes to you saying something against one of these protected classes either.
Well, then you get what's happening in the UK right now.
Well, that's and there's plenty of people
happening in the US.
I mean, we have a Supreme
you
Court
call
justice.
Somebody a Nazi. Not a problem if you go shoot that Nazi.
Yeah. If you listen to the oral arguments, and I know Brahma has and listened to the clips at least, Ketanji, loves to bring up how the First Amendment, that pesky First Amendment, seems like a real problem for government trying to take care of people.
It's restricting the government. I don't think that's what its intent was.
Point.
It's restricting the government. Yeah, exactly. She doesn't. How do you
That's
get
her
to be
interpretation
a
of
Supreme
it.
Court justice and you're like, oh, it seems like the Bill of Rights is all about
DEI.
restricting the government. Yeah. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
they legit want to get rid of that crap, right? They want to be able to have it like it is in China, where China can literally, the government can go and make shit happen, and they don't have to worry about the rights of the citizens getting in the way.
Well,
And
that's
it's
why
gonna be, I mean, the UK is arresting on average 30 people a day for retweets and posting of pictures.
which
So
is
fucking
why
30
we
a day.
absolutely, as opposed as I am to, I'm not a fan of the idea of kids getting access to adult materials on the internet. Any of these laws that are being proposed that require
the Guard Act,
curtails and ID confirmations and online safety act, they are all fucking Trojan horses.
Yes, they are.
To rape you out of your First Amendment rights.
Well, I mean, not just the First Amendment. It's like literally going to destroy all of your rights.
And control
the internet
and
in
control
general,
your and
social
control
media.
the internet and messaging. They got all right. The social media stuff got shut down. The Supreme Court, even though they didn't go do what they should have done, they said in their case in the the post-COVID case law that the federal government and the can't overtly order, no government agency can overtly order social media to take down posts. But then they further said, but we didn't think that actually happened here, so we're not going to really do anything. If you have evidence of that, this is, so the social media companies have sort of backed off slightly on getting rid of, that stuff. So the circumvention that the government has come up with to try to get around that is these online protection safety acts, because my children, just like my principals, it's like the one, the girl from The Simpsons, the Reverend.
Please think of the children.
Won't someone think of the children? They use that as a fucking like bludgeon to just beat you over the head.
Well,
yeah.
but I don't. Okay, but what about the ones that like in Texas, for example, the porn sites have
that's where it starts. Okay, that's exactly the issue.
It's a Trojan horse.
That's why it's a Trojan horse. What's happening right now in California and Utah is that they're trying to make it where there's age verification on every single operating system. That includes your phone, most likely your television, your computer, your gaming console, literally everything. And that's going to be, the next step is going to be fucking digital ID.
So here's how I'm going to.
They're going to do digital ID.
Yeah.
So wait. So what's the argument? I'm
so
confused.
here's how it's going to work.
It's the slippery slope from you have to.
Oh, so here I'll walk through it. I'll walk her through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So first you pass like Texas has. Well, it's pornography's bad for kids. It's bad for most people. It's bad for adults too. But for children, we definitely don't want them to be there. So we're going to have an age verification through location and credit card. Oh, wait, people can use VPNs. Well, man, we can't make VPNs not exist. So I guess we better take it one step further and make it so you have to have a digital ID to verify your age to be on the actual computer. And so we're going to take, because remember
before that is you have to actually scan a copy of your driver's license and send it to the company to get
Well,
access.
here's where it's going to come.
Show your face.
So the government is now going to pass a new law. Was like, man, those pesky smart kids, they're so good with technology. They installed Surfshark or any of these VPN services.
Oh, no, Chad. You know how they're subverting the ID stuff now? Is that they've been drawing mustaches on their faces.
They have mustaches. Anyway,
yeah, that's how
the
they've been
AI
faking
is
it.
not good enough to.
So then all your friendly state delegates are going to get back and go, think of the children. So we're going to amend our verification law to be one step further. And like Brahma said, so what we're going to have to do is just like what all these European you know what? Adults have driver's license and ID, forms of ID. So when you want to use a service, you have to provide your ID to log in, regardless of your state, regardless of what state you're using. And then, by the way, this is Michigan. We're going to block VPNs. VPNs aren't allowed. If you get caught using a VPN, it's
You're
a
going
felony.
to jail.
You know, we're gonna
And for three of us on this panel, YouTube has already done this to us.
Yeah.
Because once you get monetized, you have to prove your identity. Even
not
if you're
me. I'm still
anonymous.
demonetized because
That's why I
not
said
enough.
3 of us.
I know. I'm about to shill for subs. Not everybody has subbed to the Ascendant Art podcast. Please go do that. If we can get to 500, we can get the super chats flowing, and I can shill for my own channel instead of just Brahma, who, by the way, has really cool videos if you super chat them, and we'll read your messages.
Oh, we still have to get a super chat, but we'll do that after Carrie takes off because she's got
Carrie, the ultimate goal here is control, because eventually what they're going to do is they're going to lock down your computer so tight that you can only install approved apps. For years, Android will allow you to go install any application on the phone, and they're going to go and begin locking that down. If you want something safe, get an iPhone. That's the thing, and it's going to be a mechanism control. It's a mechanism to destroy online anonymity. So basically, everybody has to be known. You can't use a fake name. You have to use your real name. And God forbid you say something wrong, the government can show up at your door and fucking throw you in jail for thought crime.
Well, thank you for explaining this, because I had not made that connection before to digital ID. I do think about digital ID in particular, it's pretty interesting that leftists want digital ID for everything, but except for voting. Because that's racist.
I wonder why.
That's racist. But for
maybe because they
else,
can't cheat if there's actual IDs involved.
But how many times since Trump's first election have you heard somebody like AOC or Hakeem Jeffries mention, oh, we've got a list, or we're making a list? And we were watching a video last week on this show. Who was it, Chad? That it was David Pakman. He's a political, podcaster as well, but from the left. And he did a whole video on, well, what are we going to do with all these Trump supporters after Trump's finally gone? Because they can't be allowed to keep participating in society because they voted for Trump. We can never trust them again. These are the same people who were asking for amnesty after COVID, after they were wrong on everything. You remember all those articles that came out?
Yes.
We need amnesty. We didn't know. It was not our fault. All it took was common sense to know that the mask did nothing, that the 6-foot distancing did nothing, that spraying all of your food with Lysol when you got home from the grocery store was stupid.
Yeah. Some of them still believe all that stuff. I thought a lot of them had woken up by now, but some of them still think that was all worth it.
But they want amnesty after saying things like, well, if you don't get the vax, you're going to have a pretty horrible winter because you're all going to die because you're all idiots. The unvaccinated aren't allowed to go into restaurants. You got to present your vax card. I mean, it was all them hoping we would die.
Yep.
And then when it's over and everything kind of goes back to actual normal, not their new normal that they were trying to make, they ask for amnesty. It's like, and then what you want to do after that is talk about what you're going to do with all the Trump supporters, anybody who voted for Trump as soon as he's out of power. I mean, everything they do is to take away freedom from anybody in the United States. The left is so far communist at this point. The green-red alliance between Islam and communism is alive and well in this country, and they are actively fighting to get rid of our Constitution. Once they get rid of the Constitution, they can replace it with whatever they want. And between those two groups, they'll just kill each other till they figure out which one is dominant. And I guarantee you, the way it's going in the world right now, it's going to be the Islamists, because they're outbreeding us.
But are they outbreeding or never mind? Not gonna say it.
They're using the Longshank system.
They're outbreeding and inbreeding.
The problem with Europe is it's full of Christians, and we couldn't take it over, so we'll just, breed them out. I wouldn't be surprised if Mayor Khan has first rights in the city of London.
They have Sharia law.
Yeah, so
and Texas is one of the worst places right now for Sharia courts.
So here's the absolute
get rid of that fucking shit post haste.
The absolute craziness is that the population comes in, they specifically, as a plan, have very large families. It also, in addition to providing a giant voter base within one generation, you suck dry the social safety net and bankrupt the institutions in power as they are, because you are not providing anything to the system. You're only sucking money out of the system. And so you feel no burden for having more and more children. Whereas somebody who's a gainfully employed adult, it's like, I can't have 8 kids. It would be bankrupting. I can't afford it. How? Because you don't have in your mindset, well, let me get on this program. Let me put my kids in a Leering center. Let me do all these other things so that I can
There's no
get
kids
the
in
money.
Leering centers.
I know,
There's just
but
millions of dollars being paid to illegals.
yeah, and well, then all of those kids are going to be autistic, so they can get even more money for their Medicaid providers. It's a joke.
Well, Chad, the reality is that they probably are actually autistic.
Then those kids are going to marry their cousins and have an average IQ of 68.
And make them more autistic.
Brahma, one can hope that they can get to first cousin level, but some of them don't have those options. Sometimes you got to look a little closer to the game. Sometimes if you're Elian Omar, you got to look one bedroom over.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, brother, what's up?
The point is they're not compatible with Christendom or the West.
Well, we need to go back to beyond just like taking care of the illegal immigration problem. We need to go back to when it comes to immigration, taking into account people's culture and the ease of assimilation, and will you be a good fit here, and all of those things that you evaluate, and you say, hey, like you get ranked this high for this or this. Back when my my ex-husband's father immigrated from the Philippines, and it took like many years at that time, like because there was also a different priority level given to different countries, and it was just the process was so different, and you would have to wait a long time depending, and because they obviously any country does better if the legal immigration that you are allowing for is for people that you think are going to help make your country greater. Even
you had
greater,
to prove a skill or a profession to come in.
Yes, and you're going to be able to assimilate, and you're going to be able to become a part of the American culture and have a love for America and really have it become your country. And it should be that way for any country. If you want to immigrate to Germany, you should be able to assimilate to Germany. Someone who has a good culture that's going to be a good fit, not like what's actually happening.
Well, the funny thing nowadays, in order for them to become a citizen, they ask them, do you hate America? Yes. Welcome to our country.
Come on in, right?
Here's a citizenship card.
You'll vote Democrat then.
Yeah.
Come on in.
So last time or maybe the time before we were in Germany, well, first of all, there's parts of Germany that you would think you were visiting the Middle East. Yeah. And if you were just dropped on that street, right? And same thing for France. But we went by, what's that big cathedral in Cologne? We didn't get to spend a lot of time there, but we had a layover, like a train stop there for a little while. So we went to go see, and I love seeing the old cathedrals. So we get off the train. This is one of the most famous cathedrals in Germany, right? And right outside, there's these guys playing their music, like these, like they're doing. I can't do it.
Stuff that Sabrina Carpenter doesn't like.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like that. I don't.
They were
like that at
doing
all.
the Arabic calls, and it was so offensive. My husband we were like, they're doing it right in front of the cathedral. It was a bit like pissing on a hydrant. Like, I own this place.
They're taking over cathedrals and making them mosques.
Mosques.
Yeah, they were doing Islam calls right.
The call to prayer.
The call to prayer right in front of the cathedral, and it was like, dude, like, have some respect.
They have no respect. That's the reason why they're doing it.
Yeah,
Islam is not a religion. It's a political prescription. It is how to take over the world on behalf of a so-called religion. Their holy book is all politics. That's what it's teaching. And they've tried to take over since they came into existence in 683. And we fought the Crusades because they were pushing into Europe. They have been against Christendom since the beginning of their religion.
So it's very overt. It's so. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I don't know what else to do. I had to laugh at it because it's just,
Yeah. They
like, "We're
played the
gonna
long
come
game.
right
They couldn't
from
beat us
your most
militarily, so they're
famous
just going to
cathedral."
outbreed us and outweight us and wait for the left to get so suicidally empathetic that they're allowed in
Yeah.
behind the gates,
Yeah.
and then they just take over.
Yeah, and then, you know, this cathedral belongs to us now, kind of like,
Pretty much.
I am the captain now.
I am the
Well, but
captain now.
the other thing too, it's the reason why they go into the streets and do their prayer. It's exactly that reason
Yes.
too. It's like
It's a show of force.
It's a show of force. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Carrie,
Fucking crazy.
You got to get going. So,
Thanks for
what do you
letting
got
me hang
coming
out
up?
with you guys. Well, tomorrow I'm doing an early episode. I haven't posted it yet, but sorry, 11 a.m. Texas time. Chris Gore is going to be on my show on Deprogram with Carrie Smith. We're going to be talking about Los Angeles from a Los Angeles person's perspective. How's the mayoral race
Angelino.
going?
Yeah. Tell
Los
Frank I
Angelino.
said hi.
Yeah, and tell him if he ever does want to talk politics, since his show is not for politics, but I know he gets a little political every now and then. He's got a place if he wants to.
I will. I'll tell him. So thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you
and
for
hanging out.
Bye,
hanging out.
Bye bye.
It's good to see you.
Do you do
Nice.
some clip where you kick me off? Okay, I'll just leave.
Nah.
Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay.
She had to take a nap.
All right, let's
That's
grab
the best
that last
we can do in
super
short
chat real quick. Dead Man for $4.99 says, I repeat myself, but you cannot hate the mainstream media enough. Plenty of evidence for this opinion. Yes, they are the verbal wing of the Democrats. I mean, that's all they function as at this point. All right, we'll give you guys the goods.
All hail the bullpen.
Thanks, Dead Man.
The amount of money and time and data center usage for jiggle physics is probably unprecedented and immeasurable.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that if this is what AI does instead of taking American jobs, that's fine.
Well, it's actually
even
being proven
Davina
that AI
announced
is
it.
actually costing more than hiring somebody. So
What
that's
it's
trend-
costing us right now with the data centers is our fresh water. That's going to be where everybody's finally going to get pissed off about it. I agree.
Well,
We
that
need
and
to
their
beat
electric
China in the race, the AI race, because I think that is the next step. But we've got to figure out, Elon's got to figure out getting the data centers into orbit.
Here's the question. China's not even building the data centers. They have like a fraction of the data centers we have, which means they're probably
What they're doing
using-
is building the power plants to be able to build the data centers, because we're not building power plants. We're not doing anything.
the data centers are. We have plenty of data centers. We already have data centers. Data centers are not whatever.
But Chad, we need more data centers, more.
Yes, yeah. They suck out the groundwater. They suck up electrical costs. I live in Virginia, which is data center capital of the world. It's fucked our groundwater. It's fucked our electrical bills. It is not worth doing.
There's a good argument to be made that Lake Mead is as low or gone as it is because of the data centers that they've put in Vegas. Because that thing has been at historical lows for like 10 years now.
Really?
Between drought and data centers, the water is just gone from Lake Mead. There are sunken boats that are showing up on, in Lake Mead in the dry areas. That's how much water's gone.
Which, I mean, it is. There's a way to do this where in theory, what I would say, and it's probably not efficient to do now, and I'm sure that people have been. You should combine nuclear power, data center, and desalinization into one kind of campus, where you ship in seawater to use with your nuclear power.
Well, okay,
to
one
then
thing.
Desalinate it and then also make that what the water you're using for your liquid cooling when
Which
it's
is
steam.
that's the step that Trump missed with these data centers, because he said basically if you're going to build a data center, then you must also build a power plant to accommodate it, separate from the grid for the local cities.
I agree with that.
But there is nothing said about the water.
Well, that's
At
the
least
thing I
nothing
don't
that I know
understand
of.
because okay,
Well,
I've worked
because
at a data center. I haven't worked at a giant one, but the ones I work with were actually they were air chillers. They weren't water.
Because the usage wasn't like
Probably high enough.
the AI data centers require liquid cooling to keep up because of the GPUs and all the other shit. It's crazy.
Dr. Jones, they own most of Colorado's water too.
Now this thing comics. This is what's hilarious. The data center people, when they go to the normie city councils or county board of supervisors in Virginia or whatever, they are now trying to convince these boards and councils that they are net zero water users, because once they get the initial water put into the system, it's a cycle and it'll be fine, which is bullshit. It's bullshit. There's no way you don't have to replace your water, even if you've got a closed system, just because eventually it's not, you've got to replace the liquid. Nothing is 100% efficient.
Well, yeah, no, and I can attest that because the place I worked at, we had a data center in Vancouver, and that one was water cooled. And there was a massive fire downtown Vancouver, and literally that took all the chillers offline because there was obviously no water for them. And we had to start powering stuff off. Not me literally because I wasn't there. But they literally had to go and turn off servers and disrupt service because of that. And I mean, it was a fucking shit show. And yes, I mean, obviously that was not a closed system because it was directly impacted by all the water going to go fight the fire.
Right.
Yeah. So, but they throw this, all these, like, the tech jargon at these people who don't speak it or have any desire to really be questioning of it. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, see, they said they're not going to use any water. And then the next thing you know, it's that data center in Ohio where the news story just came out, and they're like, oh yeah, they used 300 million more gallons of water that they didn't even get billed for because nobody was tracking it.
Oh, wow.
Just in a year. So data. I'm conservative. I'm Republican, whatever. Fuck data centers. Fuck them. No. And you know what? And the power companies, fuck them too. Because they have no problem passing off all these costs onto us. And the way they do it, by the way, is they're like, well, we haven't raised the rates for electricity at all. Yeah, they don't raise the electricity. No. They don't raise the electricity rates. They raise the transmission fees and all the other shit. So they can say, well, the price per kilowatt hour hasn't changed. But if you read your electric bill, you start getting charges beyond just what the kilowatt hour charge is. You get a transmission charge.
It depends where you are, because in Colorado they do it a different way. Yeah, from 5 to 8 o'clock. If you use electricity or water, you get charged a higher rate than any other time.
No, there's still a peak usage charge. That's still, all right. So there's a peak usage charge for the electric, but check your bill.
Right. They just happen to put that in right at the time where everybody's cooking dinner, doing dishes.
Yeah, you're still going to see
when you're at home away from work.
Well, that would be peak usage. I'm not going to fault them for being accurate that is.
I mean, technically, I think peak usage is when everybody's in a freaking office building, having every single light on, with every single computer on, and using all the bathrooms and everything. The corporate usage during the day is far higher than what family usage is for 3 hours in the evening.
Oh, yeah. All right. I think we got a couple chats have come in, though.
Yeah. And then we got to decide if we're shutting down the main portion of the show, because we are at the 2 hours. Deadman for $4.99 says, disagree, Islam is a legit religion. I'm fine with the actual belief, but Jesus is a real person that existed. I will leave it there.
Islam is a legit religion for marrying young women. Young women.
9-year-olds, dude.
You
can believe what you want. I think a guy who is completely illiterate, basically rewriting a whole bunch of stories from the Bible in his illiterate way, 643 years after Christ, is no different than the Book of Mormon.
That's its racist, Brahma.
And yes, it can be a legit religion. I would probably say that who you're worshiping is probably the devil from the Bible, not God from the Bible, if that's a legit religion. We got to play a clip, and then we'll get to Dr.
Yeah,
Jones.
got to get the yes.
Chad loves the Ottoman Empire, Brahma is an Islamophobiast, and comics is the smartest 5'10" midget ever.
Green eyes, the rarest. Dr. Jones for $1.99
You have two
says,
of them now, Master.
data center subversion on X paid for by the CCP? Question mark?
No. I mean, look, if China...
You wait a second.
Thank you so much.
Where's the jiggle physics?
Yeah, the jiggle.
Chad will learn the rules eventually.
Yeah. No. No, I refuse. It's part of the fun. You get to correct me. I get harumph. and then the yeah-yeahs comes on screen.
Yeah.
No, I think, look, I've lived around the data centers. Here's an interesting thing. We're going to spend all this money. We're going to build all these data centers that fuck up the local environment, drain all the local water, and then guess what they're going to find out in a couple of years? Oh, look, it wasn't even the way we want. AI, what they're going to do is they're going to have it install natively on your PC for your own personal agent and then sell you software as a service.
A subscription service.
SaaS, software as a service, is a subscription
service. It will be a subscription where it's going to be payments.
Because they're going to realize, here's what we can do. We can offshore, instead of offshoring for data centers, motherfucker, we're going to put these AI chatbots and generative AI and all that shit. We'll make it run it off their own PC so they pay the electricity.
Chad, I'm already doing that shit, man.
They pay... No, but just comics, do you not doubt that that's what's going to happen in the next 3 years? They're going to realize, why are we bearing the costs? Once they get their AI to a sufficient
I think
iteration.
You are correct, but I disagree with the reason why. It's because a lot of this technology is going to evolve so much to the point where you can literally run an AI model on your phone, right? I mean, that's where we're going to get because the technology keeps progressing. And it's not going to require the data centers. I mean, as is, like I said, I have a R740 with 2 Tesla V100s in there, which are basically roughly 9-year-old GPUs that still fucking kick ass. And so that gives me around 64 gigs of VRAM to load pretty big models and still have a large enough context window. I mean, a lot of this is, especially when it comes to the unified architecture with computers now, which basically means that you can swap your memory on your system to use as VRAM. It's going to make a lot of the data center technologies, I'm not going to say pointless, but no longer necessary. And yeah, it means that you're going to run your own thing. And yes, you can get the subscription service, sure, but there's plenty of free models out there. I think the people that know what they're doing will avoid paying for it, and you'll just get like a model off of Hugging Face, right? Because that's what most people do. Or like myself, who are enthusiasts that run their own models. I mean, you can download LM Studio for free and download models for free as a result and run it on your local system, provided that you have the hardware. The biggest barrier right now to localized AI is the hardware. Now, I have like 3 ways of doing it. I have a GPU on my desktop, which is an RTX 4090. And then I have my server with the 2 Tesla cards in it. And then I have a basically a unified architecture system, which is running the AMD processor, the AI AMD processor, and I can fucking use that. And that thing has 96 gigs of memory built in. And right now, 48 of it is basically dedicated to the GPU. So, I mean, it's already happening. And you're right. I think that's what the big AI model companies will do, is that they will say, hey, you're basically going to pay us for the model because it can run on your hardware now. And mind you, their models are pretty fucking badass. You know, the Claude models are really good. The local ones aren't as good, but they're getting there. So it's like the best way of putting it is that if you want cutting edge AI models, yes, you can get them from these companies, and you can pay your premium, much like what I'm doing right now when I pay Claude and I pay for Cursor and a few other things. But yeah, I mean,
Go free
it's
with a basically customer service chatbot.
Well, here's where this is going to be the sneaky thing. They are going to offer you. They're going to have a very high paid tier that a lot of people take. But what they will offer is a low price option like $9.99 a month, where it's an intro level AI chatbot that's on your system. But when you read the fine print, what you're going to find out is that while you're online, your CPU will be used as a part, like Eric brought up the old one of the first ones I'd heard about was the folding at home project that they used to have on PlayStation. You could allow your PlayStation, when it was in rest mode, to be used as a giant to like hook in, and its CPU.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with SETI at home.
Yeah, with SETI, yeah, it would be basically giant computing power to use as a giant
mining.
Yeah, so and you're going to opt into it. You're going to be, and because you know why? Because consumers are very easy to understand from a mindset. As a population, if you offer a consumer a lower cost point, they're going to tend to take it, and they're not going to read the fine print, and they're not going to care about the fact that their CPU is now being farmed out to be part of a giant interconnected supercomputer brain for AI, and that your electricity bills will go up as a result of it because it's running. You know, like while you step away and you leave your computer on and you thought it was just in, you know, sleep mode, what that fan's still going to be humming because your GPU and everything else is going to be processing for somebody else's higher price Claude bot that they are paying a higher subscription service tier for.
Joke's on them. I leave
But
my games
to
on
answer your
24
question,
hours a day
Bungalow Logic, I was not Navy kid. I was a drama queer.
Drama queer?
Yeah, that's what they called drama kids back then. Drama queers.
Queer had a very specific connotation back then.
Oh, yes, it did. Still did. Same connotation as it has now. But it's like, well, it's like saying art flag.
Theater kids.
Yeah. Theater kid, drama kid, whatever. I mean, it's the same thing. We except it was a lot meaner term, such as, you know, drama queer.
Right. Dead Man for $1.99 says, fair Brahma, I am definitely a Christian, not a guy. Are you saying your name is Dead Man and you are not a guy? So.
Is it the dead woman?
Just a fan of the Grateful Dead that is a woman. So. Thank you for that. And yeah, I know quite a few Muslims. I don't have a problem with every Muslim. I just don't think... I think the most devout Muslims are probably the ones that are going to be the issues. It's the ones that are not devout that will be able to assimilate to some degree.
I have a ton of thanks to give, and it could be all yours.
I'm sorry. Dallas Howard looked way better than she deserves.
I think
Fuck
so,
off. Fuck off.
All right. Do we have anything else we
Bryce
want to do
Dallas
on the
Howard
actual
hate is not
bullpen
that is
before
a
the
hate
after show?
crime. You are the thought police need to come arrest comics for that one. Clearly you're gay since you don't enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
totally
Dead Man
gay
says
for
not a religious person is what I mean. So
okay.
Dead Man, I'm assuming, is actually a man, which makes it good that I've been playing the female clips all night rather than.
Yeah, we're gonna gender you based on your screen name. Got to deal with that. I mean, it's not.
There's quite a few that I didn't know were women until they finally came out and said it in the chat.
Have you been enjoying the Elliot Page video?
Well, yeah,
but I'm not calling that thing Elliot. It's Ellen Page. It's a girl. No.
I don't want to get you demonetized, Brahma.
I'm not playing that game.
You're on the verge of advertising monetization. That's even...
YouTube has not been a problem with words being said. YouTube has been a problem with their algorithm going crazy, thinking that there's bots and AI running channels. And since I am always on camera, it's pretty hard to call me a bot channel.
All right,
sure, you could be AI video.
Checkmate to you, comics. DV says that he took it from a real photo. How can I make it look better when all I did was make her move? Checkmate, sir. Checkmate.
And Ted Man says, I am a man. Man. Amaze.
What was that, ma'am? I heard, I am a ma'am. A ma'am.
It's ma'am.
It's ma'am.
Man, I'm going to go watch Project Hail Mary again this week because it's just such a fun movie. I like it.
I won't watch it again. I've watched it twice in theater. What I've done is I've been listening to the book for the past week, and I'm right at the part where he has to make a decision between going back to Earth or the other decision. So, book's been pretty good. There is a little bit of modern day climate change, that kind of crap, but it's been good. Once we get to post show, just checking. Have either of you watched Dutton Ranch yet?
No.
Oh, I have not.
Okay. I'm completely checked out of the Yellowstone universe. That Marshall show was shit.
Well, yeah, but that one is not him doing it directly.
I don't care. It's turned me off. I'm done with Yellowstone.
Well, Dutton Ranch has been fantastic.
Plus,
2 episodes in.
Plus, Sheridan does the bait and switch. He is a closet lib. He's 100% closet.
Oh no,
lib.
he's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think. Brahma
Well, then
would know.
he's doing shit for TV because he's giving the land back to the natives. He's doing I don't know.
How is that woke though? The fact that they gave that, because that was like the deal they cut like in the 1887 show.
The deal's done. It's their ranch now. I'm sorry. I'm not giving Oklahoma back to the natives because we don't have a new treaty either.
The deal
that's
Taylor
fine. That's an
Sheridan
entire
is
state.
he believes that the old way of doing things, like actually being a freaking cowboy and actually working the land and knowing where your food comes from, is his beliefs. He may not be full-blown conservative, but I also know too many people who know him that say, yeah, he absolutely, if he could actually speak out, he leaks it out through the shows, what his actual beliefs are. I mean, like in Landman, where she's, completely caught off guard by the non-binary and asks the questions that we all would be like, yeah, you don't make any sense.
And what was the lesson she learned in that episode?
That her mom would do whatever it takes to get her out of trouble. He also has a problem writing women as being, it's not that they're boss babes. It's more that they're just, a little bit too independent. But I know people who know Sheridan. He's got a lot of connections to my family. Half of the characters in the show are named after people in my family. And he would never be voting for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. But his idea of conservativeness is a little bit different than maybe somebody else's, because he actually believes in like the cowboy way and the stoic man way. So it's just a different look of conservatism.
I don't trust it.
Okay.
That's just me. It's fine.
What I don't trust about him is that he's a wine snob, even when he's been given multiple bottles of Pappy Van Winkle. And he'll just tell my cousins, he'll literally tell my cousins, oh, you guys are bourbon? There's Pappy over there, like 13, 14 bottles. Just drink that, and they'll go through 5 bottles of Pappy in a weekend. Those are $2,800, $2,300 bottles of bourbon. And Taylor has it everywhere. But he's a wine snob, so he just drinks extremely expensive bottles of wine.
Hey, his loss, your friend's gain.
My cousin's gain. All 7 of them, I believe, that So he was godfather to one of my cousins. Happens to be the one who took his own life, but he's still connected to the family very, very intimately. So I think we should end the main show and then maybe do a little bit of after show. Comics, you going to stick around, or do you want to get out of here because it's getting late for you?
Yeah, it's 11:30. I got to go to bed.
Yeah. All right. What do you got coming up?
Let's see. I got a lot of stuff going on I can't talk about, but I will be streaming tomorrow, as always, at 9 p.m. Central. Shit, I need to find a fucking story to talk about. We're supposed to be talking about like these weird kind of things that happen in the world, and I need to get on looking for stuff.
For your show tomorrow?
For my show tomorrow.
Yeah, they've changed it since I left. Now they talk
well,
about weird
I mean, we
stuff.
still talk entertainment, but it's like when it's slower news-wise, and it has been kind of slow, we're kind of like pivoting a lot of like Monday to talk about, kind of like weird kind of stuff that could be spooky, but is actually real. Like we talked about the Eliza Lamb case that happened. If you remember, that happened in the early 20, was it 13, 14, 15, right around there, where this chick disappeared and it looked like she was either possessed or being stalked or whatever, and she drowned in a water tank. So stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh,
so that's
yeah. I did hear you talking about that. Yeah, she was schizo and actually drowned herself in a water tower at a hotel.
Well, it's kind of funny, Release McCracken, that you mentioned that I'm a spy, because like the job I just got is with the NSA, and it's going to be reading your email. So yes, I mean you're not wrong. That's the thing I can't talk about. Reading your emails.
You're gainfully employed. Yay!
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Comics got benefits.
Yay!
Yay!
Tox comes in, celebrates 9 months of membership. I forgot to cancel this for 9 months now.
Guess he missed the libertarian renter.
It's true.
It's damn true.
Let's see. Is there one we haven't played?
Oh, you should talk about Gina Carano getting effed.
All hail the bullpen.
Wow.
I'm just going to cut you off with the video now.
I realize
I'm not even going to give you the word.
I had just had that occur to me as a topic, because there's a lot of scuttlebutt in the normie community that it was fixed.
It wasn't freaking fixed.
What people aren't recalling is that Gina Carano was from a totally different era of MMA when they didn't even do that kind of shit. And she
even
got
on George's
tanked.
show, George was like, "How do you not defend against the armbar when that's what Rousey is,
known for?"
It's like, do you know why she's known for it, George?
Because
she ended every person with the armbar. If it was so easy to defend, she wouldn't be known for it.
The main thing was, as soon as Rousey was able to get her to the ground, it was done.
Yeah,
Rousey said after the fight, "I didn't really care to get hit, so I took her to the ground and I ended it." The thing is, Gina should be very proud. She cut 100 pounds.
Oh yeah, she looks amazing.
She may need to gain a little bit back because she lost all of that back end and a little bit of the top. But Gina spent her time cutting weight and trying to get in shape. I don't know how much of that. I'm sure a lot of it was fighting, practice. But Ronda Rousey has been in shape. She works on a farm at the moment, her own farm, or a ranch. And she has been in the WWE up until the last few years. She's used to taking a bump. She's used to being in shape. Gina expended energy getting down to weight for this fight. Rousey, this was never a fight that Gina was going to win. I wish it had gone more than 17 seconds. But
I hope they had a pregame show.
This is a legit ending to a Ronda Rousey fight, especially 17 years after Gina had last fought. I mean, I don't know what people expected. Again, it would have been great if they had stayed standing for a few minutes before Rousey decided to take her to the ground. But Rousey didn't really feel like being punched in the face either. Because that would have benefited Gina to stay on your feet.
Yeah. Well, and you want to play to your opponent's weaknesses, right? And if you're a ground fighter and the other person's not, you want to take them to the ground. I mean,
immediately,
immediately, because like when I was years ago, when I was in my 20s, this one place I was taking Kempo at, there was a larger guy, and his whole thing was like he was a ground fighter, and he was a big dude. So as soon as you're on the ground, your ass belongs to him. That's just how it is. So you play to your strengths and to your opponent's weakness.
And Rousey immediately went for the shoot. That's not how most fights start. I think it caught Gina off guard because normally you circle for a couple seconds and at least pretend to throw some punches or do something or throw some kicks before the first shoot. And Rousey just went for it immediately. And I don't like Rousey. I never have. I hate her as an actress. I've never liked her in wrestling, and I've never liked her in UFC.
I hate that she took Roddy
more prepared
Piper,
than Gina.
As her she took his whole look. Fuck off.
Bungalow, why did Gina do it? Because Rousey got paid $2 million and Gina got paid $1 million for 17 seconds of action. And she managed to lose 100 pounds along the way and got back to healthy.
Yeah, good on her.
That's $1 million that she's got in her pocket. And that's 100 pounds that is not on her frame anymore, which gets her back into acting shape.
Yep.
I mean, even she admitted, I've been saying it wrong. I said she was one cheeseburger away from a heart attack, but I think she said she was one cheeseburger away from diabetes. So this was the motivation she needed to get back in shape.
Yes, absolutely.
A couple more super chats. Toxic Man Flew for $5 says, we can talk about all the things that disappeared in Ian's butt.
And appeared in Tox's butt.
No, I think it was his front to your back.
Is this the Dick's Division
Tox
human
was
centipede?
the one disappearing.
I have no idea.
I have a ton of thanks to give, and it could be all yours.
Speaking of backs.
Are you doing that because of the backside reference or because comics?
Yes, because that's the only ass we've got.
Is a Bryce Dallas Howard denier.
So am I, and you know it.
If I could remove you from the screen of your own show, I would.
I'd be fine with that because then I'd go have a cigarette. John Wayne 1985 for $10 says, Chad, as long as AI gives me the entertainment I want and deletes Hollywood before it deletes the planet, I'm perfectly okay with data centers sucking up every last resource on Earth. Priorities, man. Let's have a AI generated.
All hail the bullpen.
Because the super chat was left up locking.
Oh, you saw the top of them bouncing all over the place.
All right. I really hope, by the way, at some point, because of your AI-based descriptions, somehow it hits Bryce Dallas Howard's algorithm so she can know there's people who genuinely appreciate her for all she brings to the table.
And two other people who are like, we do it because Chad likes it. Last one.
When she's our first major guest on the show, I'm going to make sure she knows you said
that. Talks for another $5. Did comics just say a big dude took him to the ground in his 20s and owned his ass?
No. If you actually fucking listen to me, that was one of my instructors, you retard, who was a ground fighter and said that he would rather go to the ground and fight because he would own your ass. And he already owns your ass, Talks. We already talked about this.
Whoa, people are hating in the chat. That might, you know what?
Chad loves the Ottoman Empire. Brahma is an Islamophobiast, and comics is the smartest 5'10" midget ever.
And the smartest retard.
Damn right, I could cut off your complaints, Chad.
I don't know if there's a mod who can, thought police some people coming in with these obviously hate crime statements about Bryce Dallas Howard.
Maybe Bryce Dallas Howard should fight Ronda Rousey so she can lose 100 pounds.
Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
You should stop hating Americanly made great things.
Chad's a communist, confirmed.
Chad, what do you got coming up?
We got the Ascend in Our podcast Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. I think this week I'm going to manage to drag Slender to go see, because of content needs, The Mandalorian and Grogu, so we can rip that shit.
Gross.
I'm not doing that on Thursday. I'm not
Look, I went and saw Obsession, and now everybody's caught on to that. It was a good movie, and now they're all talking about it. But it was not so good for the content on Friday. Oh, and we are going to be going to the fourth grouping for Brahma's bracket, which has been very popular, if not divisive, within our chat with his bracket. It's doing what it's supposed to be, by the way, comics. You should look into bracket challenges as a super good way to get your chat hyped up, because it works really well because they're involved through polling.
Especially when somebody on the panel creates the bracket and everybody attacks him personally because of the bracket.
I know. I went through it when I did it, and now Brahma's going through it when he did it, and we are going to rip Mad horrendously. When
yes, because Mads is completely filled with gay music.
Do you say filled with gay musings?
Music, because he's doing the 2000s.
He's doing the best of 2000s, and not specific to a specific genre. I did at least 90s rock and had 64 bands and 64 songs.
The question is, why are you surprised by this?
Say what you will about Brahma, but at least his bracket had an ethos.
Yeah. Comics, nobody freaking knew Stabbing Westward. What do I have to do?
Oh,
we
God.
were complaining about me putting that on the list.
I love Stabbing Westward. They are
like comics,
good.
if you had to pick, if you were putting a 90s rock music bracket together,
I would totally put Stabbing Westward on.
No. But which Stabbing Westward song would you put in?
Probably something from Wither, Blister, Burn, and Peel.
You would put Save
Like,
Yourself.
what do I have to do?
Yeah.
It was their first radio hit. It's what put them on the map.
Save Yourself was their mega hit.
That was like 6 years later.
That was later. That was much later.
But it was still...
I don't even know if it was in the 90s.
Yes, a Bungalow.
No. Darkest Days was still in the 90s. It was late 90s, though.
It was 98. Bungalow, yes, that was a Lebowski reference, because Brahma and my co-host on Ascend and Art, Slender Dad, they share one thing in common, which is their absolute favoritist movie of all time is The Big Lebowski.
Say what you want about the tenets of National Socialism. At least it's an ethos. And also, an amphibious rodent? I don't think that's... I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Man, the carpet really brought the whole place together, man.
The rug. The rug really brought the whole place.
Donnie, were you listening to the dude's story?
I love, by the way...
This is what happens when you fuck a man in the ass.
Have you ever seen the TV edit?
Oh, where they...
This is what happens. This is what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps.
Yes.
Best edit ever.
The my favorite fan theory, by the way, is that Donnie doesn't exist.
Donnie doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There is actually very little real interaction with him through the whole thing. There's only like one time where he's directly addressed, and I think it's when the phone's ringing, the portable phone. Phone's ringing, dude.
Which one is Donnie?
Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
Okay. I was going to say, but there's a point where they spread his ashes and it blows back all over Lebowski.
Right, but the whole thing is basically that he's a ghost through the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Talks for $2 says NSYNC wins the 90s. Ian K. 2026. That's a quote.
A quote that was made up by Toxic Man Flu. I mean, sure, if you want to believe a fucking man flu.
All right, which one?
You want to hear me say something smart for once? The bullpen is awesome.
All right. So that does it for the main show. Me and Chad will probably go for a little bit. Chad, do you know how to bring it back from the end credits?
Go
Just
back.
Change it to dynamic scene again.
Yeah, I can get that.
Okay, because I need about
Smoke
3-minute break.
Yeah, so go set the dog.
It's not
off.
just smoke. It's half of the 1 liter of tea I've drank tonight.
Did you have a liter of cola?
I've had a half liter of tea and probably 3 bourbons.
Oh wait,
liter cola. It's for a cop.
I thought didn't we get Bill's super chat?
I did one earlier, and I did the Henry Cavill.
Oh wait, no, she did another one. $2 right before Toxic Man Flu. I'll bring it up for you.
That one snuck in. Bell for $2. If AI takes all the jobs, how do I buy stuff AI makes?
You don't.
Well, they're going to have to give you a universal basic income because nobody will have a job anymore.
All right, here's the you can play the clip and then I'll give you the AI black
All right,
pill.
I'm going to give you the Copy Kitty clip because we already played the other one.
Kitty donated again.
And ladies rejoice, you're about a few months from a Highlander slew of clips coming out. But anyway, there has been within business and finance circles.
Then you run this for the last few minutes.
All right. Within business and finance circles, there's a white paper that came out where they did a deep study regarding AI and economics. And basically, under no scenario is AI good for the economy in any real way, shape, or form. It is a race to the bottom because companies lay off employees to facilitate AI adoption. But by the time they do AI adoption, they have effectively, because every company is doing this, destroyed their consumer base because there's not enough people employed making gainful wages. So they end up there's a massive amount of the companies that would go out of business. There would be consolidation. But then with all those other companies going out of business, there would be even more layoffs. It would be what's effectively called an economic death spiral. And there's no way out of it. Even universal basic income wouldn't work.
I don't know if it would actually get there because at this point, companies are already discovering that AI is not the solution. It's what I've been saying. It's a tool. That's all it is. You can't replace employees with it. And a lot of the companies that have gone and done it realize they're spending more money on AI than they would for actual employees. So I think that's the thing right now is that there is a massive misunderstanding of the use of the tool, and that's the problem.
Yeah. So for me, I'm as a student of my generation, and the .com, what I would refer to people to look back on would be the .com bubble.
Yeah.
In the late 90s, very early O's, before it burst, people believed that the quote-unquote internet was going to completely replace the need for people
brick and mortar stores. Yeah.
For brick and mortar stores, for this, all that, and the other. What we found was that it shifted things, but it didn't destroy the economy because there's only so much that you can do. And like you're saying, comics, the internet is a good tool, but it's not a replacement. It's not a full replacement. It can't do that for you. Like it can't. No. And so, yes, it disrupted commerce, but it just shifted a lot of things the way we do things. But it created whole new categories of employment, which, by the way, regarding that, in the United States, if we canceled the H-1B visa program, we would still have plenty of jobs in IT.
Yeah.
For all of our graduates.
Not a surprise.
And the reason, like this, by the way, this AI race, fuck it. If it's all about data centers, why are they hiring all these people in India to work and take these jobs?
Well, there's another thing too, which is one of the major problems with AI. I mean, it's not necessarily a problem. It's a problem now. It is the fact that it's finding all these vulnerabilities in software, which is good in the right hands, which means that things can get fixed, right? I mean, there's been like 3 zero-day exploits found in Linux right now. which is not good. It is good that they're being found, and people are basically being notified so they can try and address the issue. But at the end of the day, is that in the wrong hands, it can be very, very dangerous. And there was a term back, I would say like late 90s or 2000s, a script kiddie, basically. Script kiddies were basically wannabe hackers that relied on other scripts that people wrote to go and hack. Excuse me. The issue now is that these script kiddies are now using AI to do stuff. And there are ways of tricking AI to create it. Or in the case of running your own local models that are uncensored, you can have an uncensored model go do it. So, I mean, that's kind of the major downside. I would say right now to AI is all the vulnerabilities that are being found, and God knows they're being exploited. There's one thing I forgot to mention to Carrie before she left about the whole thing with the digital ID and all this stuff with the age verification. The scariest part of this is that what's happening if the government actually does this is that they're putting everything in a centralized database that's going to be easy for people to go and fucking hack. How many data breaches out there?
I mean, it happened with Discord, right? And remember, Discord was like, we're not saving any. We're doing a one-time verification, and then we get rid of it. Oh, what did we find out? No, they didn't
get rid of it.
Yeah. They kept all of it, and then bam, it was a treasure trove. And these terabytes of data are on the dark web for people to download to this day.
There's a lot of issues that come with this. Obviously, the digital ID is one aspect, but the issue is the centralized database that somebody can go and hack and go and collect all this data. So are you trying to keep children safe? The answer is fuck no, because you wouldn't be collecting this data and putting it in a centralized location that makes it very easy for somebody to go and get access to it. I mean, right now, there was something that happened about a week ago called the campus hack. Or I think it was Canvas is the
Canvas, yeah.
Canvas
is the largest student school system, but it's where it's used.
It's where all the grades are uploaded.
Well, it's public schools, public schools,
colleges.
Colleges. It's
your transcripts.
Yeah. So Canvas was hacked. Fortunately, they didn't take any of the data. But that it's like, think about this. Wanting to keep kids safe? Well, this hack just exposed all that fucking data of these children. How is the idea of putting all this data in a centralized location where it's going to be really easy for people to gain access to it, protecting kids? It's the same fucking idea.
About the kids of this generation, they will give up everything immediately either way.
Yep. That's the problem. We have not rolled credits yet, by the way.
I know. They have no interest in protecting their privacy. They put everything onto the internet.
Yeah, so, that's a problem.
Well, I think that's the way the world's going to work. I mean, it's fossils like us that are still wanting to have some privacy. I just don't think they understand what privacy actually grants you.
Mm-hmm. And I think Tox, you're right. He says the Canvas hack was a warning.
Yep. Yeah, this has been the longest 40-minute outro ever. So,
indeed.
As for my channel, I will be on with Matt on Tuesday. I will be on Comics Division on Thursday. Friday, we've got to send an art. Saturday, no bourbon and boarding this week. We'll have it in 2 weeks. And then we're back here for the bullpen. Great news, everybody. We crossed 800 today. I went on George the Giant Slayer's show earlier, and we went from 780 to 807. Or no, sorry. We went from 780 to 800 because last week's bullpen actually got into the algorithm, and we got a whole bunch of subs. And then got another 7 today from George the Giant Slayer's channel. So we're growing. Hope everybody will go out and leave a comment after the stream is actually done. Remember, we do the after show, so don't just leave if you want to hang out for the after show. And make sure you hit the like and share out the show. So thank you all for being here. Thanks thank you for the super chats and the membership gifting. And thank you to the mods for taking care of business tonight. Hope everybody has a great week. Next week, we get a 3-day weekend, so it'll probably be a super long,
super after show.
Great show.
Yep.
So
indeed.
We'll catch you all later. Here's some outro credits, and then we'll do the after show. Catch you later.
Bye.